You are live here on the Nature Sports Podcast, man. We're going to get the guys in here. Eagles down in this wild card matchup. Send a donut, man. About to get the guys on in here, man. It's the Nature Sports Podcast. I'm ETA Money Row. Y'all already know we fashionably late, but we here. 4:22 left in the first quarter. The 9-8 Bucs are up on the Eagles 10-0, similar to what we saw with the Cowboys last night. When the 9-8 Cowboys went down. You dig what I'm saying? So just got to get the guys on in here, man. We're gonna have Uptown Vito, ETA Money Row, and you're gonna have Point B in here tonight. You dig? So let's keep this thing moving, keep this thing shaking, man. Keep this thing shaking. Shout out to everybody out there listening. Whether you're listening on YouTube, whether you're listening on Twitter, whether you're listening on Facebook, man, we still giving it to you raw, man. Giving it to you only the way that we can here at the Nature Sports Podcast. You know, Bucs with the carry out to the left side. It's another first down. Man, the Bucs look motivated today, man. They really look motivated today. Again, we're going to get the guys on out here shortly. All guys out here shortly. Whether it's Uptown Vito, Point B, Big Son, you know, we're going to get everybody in here today, man, if we can, man. Y'all know what we do. This is the Nature Sports Podcast. Again, bringing you live broadcast as usual, you know. So, you know, without further ado, it's a reverse by the Bucs out to the 40-yard line on the 1st and 10. 3 minutes left in the first. The Bucs are up 10-0 and driving the ball as we speak. Shout out to everybody out there listening, man. Again, this is the Nature Sports Podcast. Get everybody in there, man. Get everybody in there, man. Apologize for being a little tardy on this one. But we here, and that's all that matters, right? We here. That's all that matters, baby. Try to make sure that everybody gets to see us, man. Everybody get to rock out with us, man. That's always the goal, man. Try to get everybody and make sure everybody is rocking out with us, man. So sometimes that takes a little long. However, y'all are here. We are here. We're going to give you the game raw as we can, man. First quarter, 2:13 left in the first. 2:13 left in the first. The Bucs, man. The Bucs, 10-0. 10 to donut. Donut cream fillings, man. Donut cream fillings, man. Donut cream fillings. That's what they get. Donut cream fillings. That's all you get today, baby. That's all they seem to be getting today is the donut cream fillings. Right now for the Philadelphia Eagles. On the 1st and 10, the Bucs tried another reverse. Eagles was ready for it. The Eagles actually, this year, do not have a good defense. Shout out to the Eagles, man, but there's no knock on them. But they do have the 30th ranked defense in the NFL currently. Let's not forget that. They got the 30th ranked defense currently in the NFL, man. Let's not forget that. So, you know, you're not getting the best Eagles defense. I mean, definitely not the defense from last year. It seemed like losing Hargrave was a bit much for them. You did. So, Baker Mayfield back to pass, throws a strike to Cameron Brate. Oh, up to the 35-yard line, man. Man. Eagles going down in this one. I ain't gonna say they're going down. It's still early in the game. We ain't gonna do that to them. It's still early in the game. We ain't gonna say they're going down. However, this is not the start they wanted. Clearly. This is clearly not the start they wanted, man. It's clearly not the start they wanted. Again, shout out to everybody out there listening, man. This is the Nature Sports Podcast, ETA Money Row. It's live here on the Nature Sports Podcast, man. Handoff up the middle. Quick tackle by Morrow. Make sure I get all my stuff on up, man. Get y'all acclimated on what's going on. I'm going to get y'all caught up on everything that's happened thus far. One thing about us, we know how to catch you up, you know. You know how to catch you up. We're gonna get you caught up on everything that's happened in this game thus far, and everything that happened in the game earlier in the Buffalo game, which was a good one, man. Buffalo Bills. Earlier. Let me get you caught up on that one. As to everything that has happened thus far in that game, in the game earlier, and in this game here. Shout out to everybody out there listening. We're gonna get Vito in here. Get Vito in. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Uh-oh. Will we have a repeat? It looks like we're gonna have a repeat from last night. It looks like we're gonna have a repeat from last night, man. I think we might be the lucky charms for the Redskin fans right
for the
now,
NFC.
man.
We the
Yeah,
lucky charms for the NFC.
yeah, we the lucky charms, man. We the lucky charms.
Oh man, was not expecting this early.
Yes,
But
I mean,
my man Roe again caught. Man, I'm telling you, my man might be on fire.
you got Point B in the building. Let me get Point up in here. Point B in the building. Oh yeah, Point. You gotta connect. Once Point connect, man, we gonna get him on in here. I see him. Oh, there you go. There you go. I see him pointed up. Let's get him on the stage, baby. Point B in the building. Add to the stage. Let's get you on the stage, baby. Let's get you on the stage. Point B in the building also, man. Yo, hey, it was goody. It was goody. I called it though. I might have called this one. You know what I'm saying? And I might have called this one a little earlier, man.
I said it, man. I said it yesterday. The Bucs was going to basically walk through the Eagles.
They walking through them right now. They definitely doing that. This is, I mean, and if y'all looked at some of the numbers earlier, I mean, when I peeked in on the numbers, the Eagles got the 30th ranked defense. 30th ranked defense.
I told y'all during the season, bro. I said, bro, their secondary is gashed. Garden Johnson's gone. Their safeties are probably the sorriest unit that they got on their team. And they remember last year, everybody on the line had over 10 sacks. Like everybody had 10 plus sacks.
Yeah.
That's not the production they got this year. And when you get that money, I'm telling you, that money is somewhat of a curse sometimes because everybody don't stay hungry after that.
Yeah. And it seems like they're missing Hargrave too, who ended up in San Francisco. Baker Mayfield with the play action pass, he is sacked. It looked like he's sacked. We just talking about that. By Josh Sweat. I know I might be a little bit behind. The Buffalo Bills, just to get y'all caught up, the Buffalo Bills got the win earlier against the Pittsburgh Steelers by 14, 31-17, walking away, and they will be moving on next week. So the stage is set over in the NFC side. The stage is set. So we're going to talk about that a little, whether halftime or whatever, but we're definitely going to get to that AFC side because those are juggernauts over there, especially with Bills. The Bills look really good today, too, in cold weather. Josh Allen, that cold weather ain't going to bother him. We can see that.
54-yard field goal is good. Bucs are up 13-0. That was a big kick. 54-yarder with ease.
Huge kick. I mean, because this Eagles team, I mean, even though they were ranked really bad defensively, they still do have a viable offense.
Is A.J. Brown playing today?
No. No, he's not. He's not playing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Remember that conversation I had with you, bro?
Wow.
Nobody, like I said, we could break the news here if we want to, but nobody's played that angle, and I have waited until the playoffs started to tell you that. Like, I literally said that would have been the only reason why I would have bet money with the Bucs because he's not playing, and what I said that meant with him and Hurts.
Yeah. That means that basically Vito, the theory that Vito gave, and it seems to be coming in fruition that it's been a lot of locker room drama going on over there in Philly, and it really reminded you of T.O. and McNabb. Yeah, it reminds you a lot of T.O. and McNabb, and we see how that ended up. So Vito, to Vito's point, it looks like the results on the field are the same, exactly what he predicted, based on the fact that you had locker room dissension.
Yeah, if without AJ Brown, it's not the same thing. Let's just be real. Our AJ Brown is the possession receiver. You know what I'm saying? So without him on third down, without him giving some nobody's really worried about Julio Jones anymore. You know what I mean? Not saying that Julio still ain't got some thread on the ties, but nobody's worried about him in the way that they was in the past. So all of that attention gonna go to Smith. And Smith, don't get me wrong, I respect Smith. I think Smith's a great player, but with that type of attention, that's hard for any receiver to get past. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. They definitely gonna roll coverage his way tonight because I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, when you looked at the numbers for the Eagles, it's really only been Smith and if y'all looked at the number, it really has only been Smith and AJ Brown. Nobody else, I think, has over 20 catches.
But I don't know if he's playing tonight. But Zacchaeus
Okay,
has done well with the Eagles this year.
okay,
But
okay.
again, when AJ Brown's playing, the coverage usually rolls to AJ Brown because of how big he's the big play guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
on one. If anybody remembers when they played against the Skins, when AJ Brown went down, Smith was able to make a few plays, but nothing like when AJ Brown's on the field because he's always got one-on-ones, and he's that talented of a receiver that you can't give McLaurin one-on-ones all day and not get beat. So when now the double coverage is going on your number two guy, it makes it a little tougher for the Zacchaeus and everybody else to get open.
I totally agree. And just so that so we can get everybody caught up, the first drive, Tampa Bay got the ball first, went 12 plays and got a field goal out of that one. The Eagles then went 5 plays on the next drive for 19 yards, 2:55 off the clock. They had to punt. And then for the Bucs, they went 79 yards in 4 plays, 1 minute and 20 seconds off the clock, and they got a touchdown out of that after that one. The drive after that was the Eagles went 3 and out, 3 plays, 7 yards, and a punt. So this is now the Bucs ball. They have the ball now, I believe, in which they just got a field goal after. Let's see what we get. They just got a field goal. Sorry, they just got a field goal after 10 plays, 40 yards. The Eagles get the ball on the 25-yard line. Man, this is brutal, man. This is brutal.
I got
This
it.
is brutal.
Pass by Hurts. If y'all look at this first pass, it don't look comfortable. The Bucks definitely got him off his normal.
But that's what I said was a concern yesterday was Todd Bowles, man. Todd Bowles ain't no slouch.
No,
Todd Bowles ain't no slouch.
you got Hurts. Hurts is hurt too, though. Hurts playing through injury.
Oh, he still got the same injury he had, the toe injury.
Yeah, nagging. Yeah, it said nagging, so I guess.
Smith with a big play. Smith with about a 35-yarder on a slant from
Yeah,
Hurts.
31 yards from Smith to the Tampa Bay 44. McCullum on the tackle. They needed that. They can get back into it. I mean, it's only 13 that you figure if they can get a stop here or get if they can get something here, then you figure they have a shot.
Oh,
Figure they have a shot.
Smith with a big first down. Created on his own.
Yep, no huddle. Jalen Hurts passed short right to Devontae Smith to the Tampa Bay 32 for 12 yards. Smith is showing up now. I guess he figured he ain't going like that. He ain't going like that. He watched what happened to Dallas last night.
Smith
You
a
know,
baller. I give it to Smith, man. I'm an Alabama fan, Alabama guy, and I think Smith shows up in big games. He's not gonna like cower at all in those big games.
yeah, I agree. I agree. No
And
huddle.
it's gonna be on people like Quez Watkins and Julio and all those other people because I think Smith gonna bring what he's supposed to bring.
Jalen Hurts with a short pass to Quez Watkins. He was pushed out of bounds at the Tampa Bay 30 for 2 yards. What y'all think about Quez Watkins in this game? Will we see him make a? I mean, he has the potential. Let's be clear. Quez is sick with it when you can get something out of him. But they're gonna need a second receiver. Smith ain't gonna be able to do it by himself.
I mean, I think with a little bit of Quez Watkins and a little bit of Julio, they should be fine. But it's really going to be on Jalen. You know, Jalen gonna have to get the ball to other receivers other than him just keying in on Brown and Smith like he's been able to do throughout the year.
Big 3rd and 7.
On the 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, there's an incomplete pass to the left to Devontae Smith. The previous play, Jalen Hurts was sacked for at the Tampa Bay 30 for no yard gain. Philadelphia is in field goal range.
He's doing a lot of throwing off his back foot right now.
I agree.
That was
And
his.
he can't
That's what they didn't like about his mechanics in Alabama. That he threw off his back foot quite a bit.
to lead to put to point as you know as we say to point. They Jalen Hurts don't look good out there running out of that pocket. He looked like he had a visible limp. Just to be honest, there was a visible limp there.
I mean, I look at it like this. I could see Hurts playing, playing through the injury, but he got to just stay in the pocket. You know what I mean? And stay in the pocket, be able to throw from the pocket, and maybe that will help him out. And maybe later on in the game, when his adrenaline pumping a little bit more, he might can actually get out there and run a bit.
Jake Elliott for the 47-yard field goal, which is good.
While we on the commercial break, Leo, what you think about the new hire in Alabama?
I have not seen yet who got hired.
Washington head coach is now the head coach for Alabama.
What? He left Washington after the championship run?
In the booth.
Oh my goodness.
I ain't mean to catch you on air like that. My bad.
Nah, I'm all right. I'm all right. Look. I'm became an Alabama fan because of Nick Saban. You know what I mean? When Nick Saban went over there, I was like, I've been like the way he coached, but I'm gonna be honest. Not no knock on anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So Nick Saban retiring for me, I've been a Alabama fan since that tenure. You know, here in DC, we don't have a real college football team. You know what I mean? There's nobody here that's like really gets televised or anything like that. So I think, I'm gonna wait and see. I'm not gonna knock him right now. I think he had a good run this year, but I don't know if I don't know if you couldn't find a better candidate. You probably could have. Like with what Michigan did with Jim Harbaugh. They say, hey, look, we'll pay you whatever you want. Just come on down. You know what I mean? And he left an NFL job to sign a 10-year tenor with Michigan. So I would have loved them to go that route, especially, you could have slid Bill Belichick up in that joint. You know what I mean? Like, maybe. So, because I will say this, whatever he did in Washington this year was very impressive. So I'm okay. I'm gonna just wait and see this year.
All right.
But I will say this: Nick Saban, 44 first-round picks, 29 losses. That says a whole lot. Okay, he got more first-round picks than he has losses in his tenure. So don't think that you can come in Alabama and lose more than 2 and 3 games. Like 2 games in the first season or something like that, that's going to be acceptable to Alabama fans. But after that, you probably are going to need to win consistently and very
You
consistently.
don't think he retired because the dominance was getting ready to stop happening?
No. I think that I do think the NIL deals affected it a little bit. I think that Saban been ready to walk away for a while, from what I could see. And every year it was that, is he going to retire? Is he going to leave? Is he going to, you know what I mean? So if you were an Alabama fan, you pretty much knew this was going to come one day, or like pretty soon, not like one day or another, but like really soon. This was in the cards, if you will.
Got you.
Let me ask y'all another question since we on coaches. Pete Carroll would not be returning to Seattle this year. So, and he's not retiring. So what do y'all feel about Pete Carroll in Washington?
I would like it. I would like Pete Carroll in Washington, to be honest.
I don't want Russell Wilson.
I don't want Russell Wilson at all. I
He's
will.
not
I'll
coming
put you
for
there.
Russ. He did not leave because of Russ.
That's true.
I
He
know
didn't.
that.
He didn't even want Russ in Seattle no more. he
Exactly. So
wanted
that's what
Geno
I'm saying.
Smith.
I don't think
He
he
wanted
really
Geno
Russ.
Smith over Russ.
And it worked out. It worked out.
It did.
It
It
worked
did.
out. I cannot hate on that move, man. That was a good move from what it looked like to me right now. Because Russ was trash. Russ had Sean Payton and was still bad for the beginning of the season. He came on a little bit later in the season. I think he was decent, but like he was still trash. You know, well into the mid season. Only team they beat was us.
But Pete Carroll drafted him, and look at how long he stuck with him.
Well, I think he has a lot of respect for Russ. I think that Russ is and especially at that time, Russ was the the guy to keep. You know what I mean? He was putting out good numbers. He was consistently winning games. They went to the playoffs quite a bit in that
Well, let
Mayfield
me.
with a big run. Baker
Yeah,
Mayfield
let me.
with a 12-yard run for the first down.
So you got they're at the Tampa Bay 29. No, they always say, like you said, for the first, they're actually at the Tampa Bay 38. Ricks on the tackle after the big run by Mayfield. They're gonna have problems with Mike Evans. I'm not sure Darius Slay can handle Mike Evans. What y'all think about that matchup there?
It's like they AJ Brown.
I agree. I agree. Except he doesn't miss games. He doesn't miss any games.
Right. Not a playoff game, especially.
Yeah, not Mike.
Well, you want to know why? Because he wouldn't have the same ego with any quarterback because he's played with about 9 of them.
I know, right? I know. But I'm gonna tell you what I noticed with Tampa Bay. If looking at their stats, Jameis Winston is their all-time leading passer. That's crazy.
I can see that.
Yeah, he's their all-time leading passer. And Gruden, with the record of 55 and 53, 57 and 55, is their all-time leading coach.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
It is
oh,
a
oh! It's still on his feet. First down. First down, Tampa Bay. Oh
a,
my!
a, a 10-yard run for Tampa Bay to it looks like to the Eagles 39. Sorry, to the 49. To the Tampa Bay 49 by Tompkins. Tompkins with the strong run. Yes, indeed. Again, I mean, I like Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? For sure. I like Mayfield, man. I mean, he's having his best season. He's over 4,000 yards this season as well. So I think and he had 28 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. So whatever they doing out there in that offense, it looks really good, man. They are playing motivated too, though. I like their energy. Their energy is really positive.
Baker just got blasted.
Yeah, shotgun pass from Mayfield, incomplete. Looking for Arton on the play.
Nah. A lineman just kicked him in his leg and his foot.
Mm. I want. Let me ask you this: Do you think that Philly? Do you think that Philly is going to be? Do you think that Philly is going? I don't see the energy out of Philly right now. I really don't.
All of the momentum is in the Bucs hands right now.
Oh, he dropped that though. Cameron Bray. I mean, I think that was Bray. Whoever that was an easy drop, easy play. Arden dropped it, wide open. Baker Mayfield, short pass to the right to Chris Godwin to the Philadelphia 42 for a 9-yard gain on the play. Tampa Bay is moving the ball. Moving the ball. Mayfield did come up gimpy a little bit too.
108 yards after the catch for the Bucs.
Mm, mm, mm.
It's still the second quarter.
Absolutely. Philly, let me say this though. Philly is going to vamp down
Philly stopped
a
him on the
little
third.
bit. Yeah, Philly's going to vamp down. Yeah, 31 up the middle for no gain for White. White is Curry up the middle for no gain at the Philly 42. I think you go for it here. What you think?
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I think you got to go for it here.
Who wants it more? This ain't the time to be guessing.
But I don't like in shotgun. But you know what they did? They was in shotgun on the 3rd and 1. You see, it didn't work.
Oh, they got it. They got it.
7-yard run for White off the left end. It's a first down.
Shotgun right there, was it?
No, hey, they learned off the first play. Oh yeah, let me get Big Son in here. Get Point back in. Get Big Son in. Big Son, I see you, Big Son. Let's go. Big Son
Yes,
makes his
sir.
playoff
Yes, yes, sir.
Make
What
Big
it
Son make
do?
his playoff make debut.
You enjoy
What
that?
it do, man?
Yes,
You enjoy that
indeed.
Redskin
Hey,
victory?
look, I just want to say shout out to my second home team, Green Bay,
Packers.
doing y'all
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Y'all did it like no other. Ain't nobody believing y'all. But Joy Love, you had a great season. I think 4,159 yards, 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. They say the boy had damn near the best passer rating this season.
No, I'm gonna
And
give you a
QB.
stat though, Vito. I'm gonna give you a stat, Vito. 20 over the last 9 games. Jordan Love is 20 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Okay. Okay.
And to Leo's point, and to Leo's point, he said it. Point said that you got to get hot at the right time. That is always his thing. You got to get hot at the right time.
Yeah. You got to. The only way you judge the playoffs. That's how I always pick my Super Bowl. Is who
Of
hot.
course.
Hey, look at the Bills, one of the hottest teams out there.
Yeah.
Look what they
Look,
did.
look at the Packers. Look at the Packers.
The
It's
Packers
a
quiet though.
short, yeah, short pass to Arden for 5 yards. Tampa Bay is moving. They at the Philly 30-yard line. At the Philly 30-yard line on a 3rd and 5. This is a big third down for the Tampa Bay Bucs. Yeah, man. Big Son make his playoff debut. Like to introduce the audience, all the audience out there, YouTube, wherever you listen on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you listening to it at, man. It's the Nature Sports Podcast, man. Instagram, we also streaming on Instagram, man. We are simultaneous streaming this time, baby. That's how we do it each and every week. You're going to find us simultaneous streaming here on the Nature Sports Podcast, man. Y'all know what it is.
Zach Cunningham with the deflection.
Do they go for it again or do they take the points?
Points. Take the points.
Yeah, you got to take the points.
2 possessions.
16-3, field goal is good. 48-yard field goal for McLaughlin. Hey, he's solid though. That kicker is solid. That kicker is solid. That kicker is solid, man.
He kicking at home, man. He should be good.
Yeah. But they spent a draft pick, a high draft pick, I believe, a 2nd or 3rd rounder on that kicker. Just to make sure that they shored up their kick game. I think that's a smart move. That's the only, and for Bill Belichick, that's the only person he sent to the Pro Bowl is a kicker through his whole tenure as a GM. That's the only drafted players. It's kicker and a punter.
Oh, wow.
That's his only drafted player that has went off and went into the Pro Bowl.
What you mean?
For Bill Belichick, the only drafted player since he's been GM since he's had sole GM duties, since he's been the only one calling who they draft, they have only sent a kicker and a punter to the Pro Bowl out of who he's drafted.
Damn, this wasn't Tom Brady era, was it?
No, this is after Brady, kind of after Brady.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't look too good, Bill.
He could draft the top. He could. Hey, but I'm gonna tell you one thing though. What do y'all think he's gonna end up in Dallas? Because that's been all the talk this yesterday.
Ah,
That's been all the
I
talk.
don't know,
I mean,
Bill.
Vito brought it up online.
I think it's an argument because of the history with Tom Landry. Like you got to think about their franchise and how historical coaches find their way there. So it's not something that's impossible to see. They are desperate for a championship the same way we are, and Jerry is very strategic on how he goes about his process in trying to get a ring. I think if we go with youth and inexperience, I think jury picking Bill, if he does go that route, would be simply be because if it came down to the big game, he would depend on Bill's coaching experience to win that game. But that's because I think Jerry Jones thinks from a different era of football rather than today. So that would be my only thought on him going to the Cowboys.
Well, let me
Absolutely not.
add. He said, "I see."
Absolutely not.
Let me remind y'all though. Let me remind y'all. They
I
did
just think
hire. They did hire Bill Parcells. Jerry Jones do have a relationship with him through Parcells.
That's what I'm
So
not making this up. Like I'm talking about the history of the Cowboys. Like this is why Tom Landry went there. He wasn't originally with the
Yeah,
first.
I
he was with the
mean,
Colts.
Historic
Tom
coach.
Landry came from the Colts. He came from the Colts. He was with
It
Johnny
was a,
Unitas with the Colts.
it was a historic coach going to a historic spot. The Cowboys are always a big landing spot, and you got to remember that Belichick ain't been right since Tom Brady left. Media wise, there's been a lot of speculation on his coaching style, on everything that you wouldn't hear while he was there with Tom. You won't hear now because that legacy's gone. And Tom got a Super Bowl, which means that if anybody didn't like him, he still proved to be a badass. Pardon my French. After he left the Patriots, Bill got it. The Cowboys going to the Super Bowl and Bill going back to the Super Bowl is a perfect scenario for what they both need in order to kind of get over the hump. If Belichick don't go to the Super Bowl anywhere he goes, it's a failed process for him via the fact that everyone's going to go off of what you did for them yesterday, and that was win championships. The Cowboys haven't been in just as long as we haven't been, and that's what they need. They just had almost they had one of their franchise's best seasons this year. Offensively was the number one team in the league offensively, and they went out sad in the first game of the playoffs. Like if
Yeah.
it wasn't for the bull crap few points that they scored at the end, it wasn't even close. And I promise you that Green Bay defense wasn't even trying after 48-17.
I agree with Vito there.
yeah, they
Philadelphia
weren't because I watched that game in its entirety and like even even at the half, right before the half, and the Cowboys scored, the defense wasn't playing them like they was when the game first started. Like they gave them
Yeah.
people the business yesterday, and I enjoyed every single second of it.
You
That
got
was
an
a
illegal
game to see
forward
yesterday.
pass or illegal touching. I believe it's a legal downfield pass. Um, so the Eagles will be backed up. It'll be a 1st and 15 for them. And after that, they had a short pass to Julio Jones for a 4-yard gain. So they get the 5 back. You got a 2nd and 11 for the Eagles.
I
So
mean I'm gonna be yeah.
real quick, fellas. Since Ben Johnson has been one of the one of the top candidates we keep hearing about around the city, what do y'all think about the way he called the game yesterday?
Great
The
first
Lions
half,
game.
horrible second half.
Yes.
I feel like you got yeah. I feel like I got exposed in that second half a bit. I
Quick
don't know. I'm not saying that they won't win, but I don't know if they win doing what they did yesterday.
I don't know if we gave enough credit to the Rams defense yesterday after the offensive adjustment that McVay was having against them. I think to me, just to me, and don't get me wrong, no excuse for Ben Johnson. Yes, he had a worse second half than he did the first half. What I'm saying is that I think that the Rams using that Gibbs offense messed the Lions up so bad that they weren't focused on trying to figure out the offensive side more so than trying to make sure that they stopped them because they could not stop that. I know that sounds crazy, but You gotta remember that these guys don't spend a lot of time together. When they play the game is the most when they spend most of their time together. During practice and all of that, these guys are separated in their own groups. And I think on the sideline, everybody was trying to figure out how do we stop these guys? Because if they did not, if the Rams beat themselves yesterday with the way that the offensive coordinator, the Lions didn't score as much as they needed to in the second half, bruh, if they stuck with that offense, there was nothing the Lions could have done about it. And I think that the Lions' whole staff was just trying to figure out what was going on because they had such a dominant hold in the first half on them. Even though it was close, I still felt like they had the dominant offensive first half. In the second half, like I said, the Rams moving to their offense, I think it just threw them off in a way that they weren't prepared for. Don't get me wrong, though. Yes, I do totally agree with y'all that he had he fell off in the second half. And like I said, maybe credit to the defense that they kind of figured some things out. But the Rams had things going so smoothly with their Gibbs offense that I kind of stopped paying attention to the Lions offense. You know what I'm saying? Myself, like I kind of did the same thing. Like, man, y'all gonna go back on defense, or when they gotta go back on defense, that's gonna be the most important part is when they get a stop or needing to get a stop, because it was nothing they could do to stop them from rolling until they just switched their plays.
I agree. So just to catch everybody up, you had a Julio Jones 14-yard catch to the Philadelphia 38. Afterwards, you had a 2-yard run by DeAndre Swift to the Philadelphia 40. After which you had a deep pass down the middle, 55 yards, and a 55 yards to Dean. It's first thing after the first to go, short pass to Goddard, touchdown Eagles.
But it's not going to get you to the American dream.
Touchdown Eagles. Sorry, Smith with the catch. Devontae Smith with the Dean on the tackle. Jamel Dean on the tackle. Smith with the catch.
Tampa Bay can't let off now because the Eagles, I will say this. The Eagles have been in this position before. They a playoff team. They a team that's been to the bowl. You know,
They're the defending NFC champs right now.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't take your foot off the gas. That's something you cannot.
Devontae Smith has 3 catches for 98 yards right now.
I told you, man. I told you, Devontae a baller, man. Devontae a baller. That's the one person I said that was going to show up no matter what. It's about it's about the other players.
He's definitely putting in work, man.
Usually I build.
Yeah, Devontae Smith is definitely putting in work, man. So you got a 9-16 ball game with the Eagles, 9-16 with 3:06 left in the first quarter. I mean, in the second quarter. Sorry, these guys are battling it out. I'm not gonna even lie, man. The Eagles not laying down like the Cowboys. I will say that much. They not laying down like the Cowboys did last night. They are battling out. Dallas Goedert with the touchdown. Eagles extra point is good. You got a 10-16 ball game, a 1-possession game in Tampa Bay. Flag on the play.
They didn't get it.
No, they went for 2 after the flag on the play.
They didn't get it.
It was an offsides on the defense. Offsides on the defense. The Eagles decided to go for 2 and did not get it. I'm not sure why they did that. Well, it's a 7-point ball game. I guess you go for 2. I mean, what do you gain there, though? I mean, if the guys could chime in, what do you gain?
Absolutely nothing. You didn't have to do it.
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
What did you gain by trying to go for 2? Because they tried to tush push and didn't get it. They got Via Vea in there. I don't know why they thought that. They was going they forgot that they got Vita Vea in there. Let me ask y'all. DeAndre Swift had 1,000 yards, maybe 1,000, I think like 82 yards, and like 7 touchdowns. Is that enough for first team All Pro? Because he's a first team All Pro right now.
That's because
39 catches.
Because of the record.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
No.
And,
I mean, a
and I've
thousand
never
yards,
seen.
a
He's the
thousand yards,
the
40
third.
catches.
You think he the third best back in the NFC East? I mean, the NFC.
That's what I'm saying. No, he's a
Who
first
is
team
who is the other
All
two
Pro.
better?
Yes, he's a
Who
first team All Pro.
who is the
DeAndre
who
Swift.
is the two people that was better? Like I think that to me, in my opinion, when you look at it, a thousand
Pollard is
Kyron
yards.
Williams. Kyron Williams for the Rams. He had 1,500 yards.
Christian McCaffrey. Tony Pollard had better numbers than that.
Tony Pollard had better numbers than that. Absolutely.
Better and more receptions. How many receiving yards? That like to me that stuff matters too.
Yards
I get
too.
his running back, but I think that all that stuff matters.
He was
Which
he
one of
was
them
an
had
all
40
pro.
catches?
Christian
Christian
McCaffrey
McCaffrey.
did. Christian
Yeah, I
McCaffrey.
would say
And no,
Christian
Tony
McCaffrey.
Pollard did too. Tony Pollard had about
That's
60
what you
catches.
talking about, right?
Yeah, he had like
I
60 catches.
must have missed that. I did not know Tony Pollard had that many catches. That's on me.
Yeah, he had like 60 catches. Tony Pollard had a great year this year as far as receiving the ball.
Yeah, but he didn't have the rushing with the receiving, is what I'm saying. So like
Pollard
what I'm
had a
saying is
thousand
that
yards as well. They had similar rushing yards. Pollard just had more catches. Now Swift might have more receiving yards. We got to check that one and see. However, when it just came to catches, Tony Pollard is up there. Tony Pollard had a big
Tony
season.
Pollard had 55 catches
There
and
you
he had
go.
1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. He only had 6 touchdowns on the running side. We had 5 receptions.
Yeah, absolutely,
And they had a better record than the Eagles.
absolutely. Let me ask y'all this: how do y'all feel about the Pro Bowl? I think they got rid of the Pro Bowl. How do y'all feel about the Pro Bowl? Them getting rid of the Pro Bowl this year?
Perfect. That's perfect.
I don't like it. I used to like the Pro Bowl, but
I
I
like
used to like it the old way that they had it, which was
I
after the
like it
season.
because they took it away because they wasn't even playing, bro.
I agree with that. Now I
Like
agree with if you're not going to play, then take it away. I agree with that.
it was flag football was more competitive.
But I like
I
the way it
don't.
used to be, though. I like the way it
Yeah,
used
I
to
don't agree with
be.
them taking it away because I mean, what else y'all gonna take away next? You know what I'm saying? That's good elements of the joint. People waiting to play them Pro Bowl games. I mean, what?
It
I
wasn't
mean,
they wasn't
uh,
like them Jones. They wasn't even
huh?
I said they weren't though. That's what I'm saying. They took it away because the players weren't even competing.
I can agree with Vito that they weren't competing, but I don't think that there was enough incentive for them to compete.
You can't add no amount of money to the fact that these guys are listening to people and listening to the everybody else that tells people that you shouldn't play the bowl games because you could get hurt before you get drafted. You are taking away the pride and the element of the sport that made people love it. If you can miss one game for your future, then you think that you are better than the other people that are willing to play this game because of them loving it. I don't even want to draft you if you could say Jadavian Clowney. When we were covering the show, when Jadavian Clowney was about to come out, that's when we started the show back up when he was about to come out. I said that I would not want him on my team because if you can tell me you're willing not to play because of something you got going on at the end of the year or next year, I
I,
don't want that, bro. And he has not won a championship since he's been
He's been
drafted.
balling. Hold up
He's
now.
been balling, but that's not the right attitude. I'm not saying
I agree
he
with
can't
that.
win with it. He's with a team that attitude is not a part of Baltimore. Harbaugh's brother is not going to allow him to walk in that building with that type of attitude. But I'm saying that's the player that he came out as. I don't
Yeah.
want that type of player coming out of school because if you can take games off, that means that you feel like you better than the guy that's putting in work every day. What is the saying? Hard work beats talent. I don't want a talented person who thinks he's better than the game. The game is why these Hall of Famers are where they are because of the game, not just because they was the Hall of Fame player and they could decide which games they wanted to play, which ones they didn't. They played all of the games.
I
I
mean, when you talk about Pro Bowl games, to me, it just brings back memories of seeing all the greats out there getting it in. I mean, you can even look at the NBA. They don't be competitive. They just be shooting all over at the
Not
All
to the
Star
quarter.
game.
Not to the fourth
They,
quarter.
So
Not to the fourth quarter. Not to
I
the fourth
feel
quarter.
I feel like you
I
get
mean, it's
competitive.
the same thing in the Pro Bowl.
No, it's not, bruh.
Yeah,
No,
same thing in Pro Bowl. They
watch
did
the
used to
last
get it in at
three.
the end of the
Pro-
fourth
The
quarter.
last three Pro Bowls, they have been playing flag football with equipment on.
I
You
agree
can't
with that.
even they
I
ain't
agree.
even tackle no more, big son. If you go make a tackle, soon as the person gets touched, the referee blow the whistle. They don't even
I
tackle
agree
the
with that.
players who catch the
But
ball
look,
at the ball.
I
I agree
understand.
with
I
that.
understand all that y'all saying. At the end of the day, though, this is what your business. One of the things that your business was predicated on, Pro Bowling. All right, people ain't getting no Super Bowl, but people look forward to the Pro Bowl
I
who
did. I
ain't making
did.
it to the Super
First
Bowl.
of all, let
You know
me
what I'm
I
saying? You
this
play
went
hard all year
this
to
went
make it to a Pro Bowl and actually make a Pro Bowl, and then you can't play it.
this went sour when they started selecting players to the Pro Bowl outside of the Super Bowl teams. When they started putting the Pro Bowl before the Super Bowl was when they messed up. The Pro Bowl is an
I agree.
after
I
season
agree.
event.
Yep.
The guys that's supposed to go to the Pro Bowl
I agree with that 1,000,000%.
at their position. Not because you went to the Super Bowl, we're gonna take that away from you, and we're gonna let the guys who lost get a chance to play something. Again, we live in a participation award society, and I do not like it. All right, you get rewarded for what you've done, and those are individual accomplishments in a very violent game that those guys deserve. And when you take that away, the players are the ones who are now saying, you know what, I don't feel like competing. I'm not arguing for myself as a fan. As a fan, I want the game. I the game. But as a fan, I also don't want to watch an hour and a half of no sack. Nobody gets a sack.
I
Nobody
agree.
on defense gets a sack because nobody rushes the quarterback. Everybody, as soon as the ball hikes, they stand up and have a conversation with the offensive lineman. That's
Hmm.
not something I want to watch on TV. I don't even want my kid watching that. I don't want my kid to watch that and tell him that that's what football is. Not when we can watch some old Sean Taylor and some old
I was about to say we're tainted.
I'll
We're
watch
tainted with the Pro Bowl
Davis.
now
I'll
because
watch
of that one
Davis
hit
and
in
Ricky
history.
Williams go back and forth at it. All right, that's what I'm saying. Like I watch the best players of those years go at it. I don't want to watch. You know what they're doing this year? The quarterback competition, drills, and stuff like that, like obstacle courses. All right, I guess you can do that. We used to have that back in the day. But
But
don't
that
do
was
it.
the people who competed in those normally wasn't playing in the game. To be
Exactly,
honest.
exactly, and
Yeah.
that's why they would take that serious because they was trying to display what they could do good, even though they didn't make it.
Yeah. Just
All
to
of
get the
this,
fans caught back up, you got to the Tampa Bay started at the 25-yard line. They had an 11-yard run from Rashad White. Then Baker Mayfield had an incomplete pass to the right. Arton had a 19-yard catch out to the Philly 45. It was a 2-minute warning at the 44-yard line. Then it was a Baker Mayfield deep pass to Chris Godwin up the middle, which was incomplete, and then another incomplete pass out of Mayfield to Rashad White. They are still at the Philly 45, around right beyond midfield, threatening to get in the field goal range. Go ahead, continue your statement.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying, like Vito was saying, we watch people like Sean Taylor. The Pro Bowl will forever be stained for that hit right there. That's the level that got set with that one hit. You know what I'm saying? When people talk about Pro Bowls, they 9 times out of 10 gonna talk about that Sean Taylor hit on the kicker.
If you ever been and play any form of sport in DC, then you already know we gonna play for real. It don't matter if it's supposed to be a practice game, if it's supposed to be whatever. You can get to fighting at any point in time. We loved it in DC because it definitely exemplified how we do in this city here. We ain't no practices. It ain't no exhibitions. It ain't if you step on that court, or you step on that field, or you step in that ring. We
Yeah.
for real.
See, the real thing is that field back there in my neighborhood over there, we used to get it in on that field. Right in the snow like this right here.
Yes, indeed.
Come out there, bundled up. Y'all out there, y'all got equipment on. We out here, no equipment. Y'all talk about that game below four out there in Kansas City. So what? We've been doing this since we was young. Come out here in this good snow and we'll play football in it.
Absolutely. Baker Mayfield on the 3rd and 10, he is sacked
that's a cop.
by Brandon Graham. So they will have to punt. That knocked them out of even thinking about field goal range. So they'll have to punt. Eagles will get the ball back with a down by 7, probably deep in their territory, at the most at the 20.
I got a question, fellas. I got a question. Let's say Philly does win this game. What is Philly chances of getting back to the Super Bowl?
Still low. Well, it depends on when AJ Brown come back. I told you they're a different weapon when AJ Brown.
I agree with Vito with that.
But I also still think that their secondary is a problem for if they got to play if they better hope that somebody else handles the 49ers because they don't want to see the 49ers. I don't
They're
care.
going to play the Lions, right?
I
They will
don't
play
know
the
if they
Lions if they want.
them either.
Yeah, and
A chance against the Lions than they do the 49ers.
I can agree with that. They
But
definitely got a better
I
chance
don't
against
they
know.
the
have to play in Detroit though, ain't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be in Detroit. Yes.
I don't know about that, bro.
Yeah.
I know the Rams, but the Eagles don't got the secondary. I mean, the Rams got a better secondary than the Eagles do.
I don't know about that though. The Rams, I think they're better coached. I do
The
think they
Rams
will. This year they are. They have a better secondary. You're right.
outside
This is 30-year
of
Frank.
Darius, out of
Yeah,
Darius,
you're right. You're right.
better than the Eagles right now. And again, in that building, that's another place that there's going to be no fans outside of Detroit. There's not going to be a Philadelphia soul in Detroit.
Yeah, no.
I don't even. I'm telling you, I don't even think Detroit owner is even selling fans outside of if you're a Detroit Lion or not. Like if you like the Lions, you can get a ticket.
No.
If you like anybody
I mean,
else,
no. I
you're
mean,
at
don't get me wrong. Like, let's say if Green Bay played them, you would have Lil Wayne and Bud Crawford and all of those people, right? But outside of that, we not talking about it. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like, we're not talking like enough fans to actually matter. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So there
Bro,
will be fans
but
in the building, but it's not going to be enough to
it
change anything. It's going
was
to be a
not
Detroit
all
base.
Angeles in Detroit last night. It was not a Rams fan. You couldn't find a Rams jersey fan in that building, bro. It was blue and gray everywhere, bro.
Yeah, they was
Yeah.
Wellington. They had Barry Sanders, Big Shaw, Megatron,
I mean, that is
Yeah.
their first playoff.
Eminem
Their
was in
first
there
playoff
too.
in 30 years.
Eminem. Yeah, Eminem did a promo.
Saying they're gonna all spend the money again to go to the next game next week. They're gonna all spend the
Bruh.
same amount of money they just spent, maybe more.
That place, they said that place was electric. I mean, the coach Dan Campbell said he felt the electricity in the locker room before he even got on the field. He said you could literally feel the whole stadium felt like it was shaking before they came out of there. This is what he
Yeah.
said in the press conference. He said that, I mean, and even Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, who had played in that building before, they said they had never seen it like that.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, let's be real. That's their moment. And see, this is my thing. I don't want that to be their moment throughout the playoffs, but that might have been their moment. You know, you got Barry Sanders, Megatron, and Big Sean and Eminem taking pictures together. Like this is the NFC Championship, and so maybe that. And
I
they
can't
can run
blame
through the
them because
Super
I
Bowl.
know it would be the same way here.
No, the
Jalen
league,
Hurts a short pass
league
to Kenneth Gainwell from the to the Philly 18 for 9 yards, and then they're in no huddle. Gainwell up the middle for a 1 yard gain to the Philly 19 from the 18.
I think Seattle was like that when they went on their Super Bowl run. Like Seattle Stadium was electric the entire all three games. They were just on fire the entire time. And you need I think Detroit is one of those places that's gonna be like that every I don't think it was just that one game, bro. I really think that they may make it to the NFC Championship game. Not because they're the best of the team. That home field advantage is gonna be just different. Everybody's gonna have their stadium. It's not gonna be nobody in Detroit but Detroit, bro.
I
Yeah, I
mean, I
agree with
don't
that.
know. I don't know. Like I said,
The Green Bay game, you might get a few people, but it's gonna be so hostile in that zone that they're not even gonna be able to do their own team.
And we got to remember it's indoors too. That is an indoor stadium. So
Hmm.
when they get loud for real.
Yeah.
66,000. That's what they holding in there. 66,000. And when they get loud, man, that place gets loud for real.
And as I said, at 66,000, we don't got no room to sell no tickets to nobody who don't belong in here.
Yeah, I agree. You had a short pass to the right to Devontae Smith for 13 yards, and the time Philly used their last timeout on this one. They're at the Philly 32 in their own territory right now. So I guess they'll try their hand. It's only 32 seconds left in the half, so they can go either way with it, left or right. 32 seconds left in the half. It is a 16-9 ball game. The Tampa Bay Bucks are up at home to the Philadelphia
Oh my
Eagles. Man, this
goodness.
is a good one so far. This is a good one so far. Yeah, but man, that's an indoor stadium, so I can't see it, man, happening. Philly going up there, man. I'm not sure now, and I don't know how Jalen Hurts plays under that type of pressure either.
Hurts.
I know Devontae Smith gonna show up though. I guess
Yeah.
we can pretty much see that, and we can pretty much see he not taking no games off in these playoffs.
I think Hurts will play well. I'm not saying he'll play bad. I think he'll play well.
But like Vito, to Vito's point, they can't win that game without AJ Brown. I do believe that.
No, no, absolutely not.
Well, AJ Brown is hurt.
This game,
AJ
He
Brown.
got into a tip. Go ahead, Vito. You might as well explain it. You know the
uh,
situation better than us.
so earlier this year, Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, just had a couple of little disagreements here. And I know it was covered that they were, trying to get things together, get on the same page here and there, blah, blah, blah. I take it back to Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens. At the time, the Eagles had a 10-win season before the season was over with. They had a few more games before the year was over. They were going into a 12-game winning season that year. The game 10 or 9, if I'm not mistaken, T.O. and McNabb had a bout. It was after a loss. And teams that are like 9-2, 9-3, you don't think of them breaking down and getting a loss at their third loss or their second loss. And
Yeah.
his team had took T.O. and McNabb to a different level of their relationship. They weren't on page like they were earlier in the season. They weren't looking for each other when they were hot in the games like they were. And I started thinking about that with Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. If anybody's paid attention to the all season since the Eagles and Hurts went to the Super Bowl and AJ Brown's been on this team, Jalen Hurts has gotten all of the love. AJ Brown gets a little bit of love, and he gets talked about his nice looking cleats and colorful cleats. But Jalen Hurts is the new Batman. Jalen Hurts is getting movie looks. Jalen Hurts is on the cover of magazines, and I really feel like when AJ Brown didn't play against the Redskins the year before last, and we got that win on them, we got AJ Brown happened to get hurt. I remember that he wasn't hurt the whole game. He got hurt in the first quarter and wasn't able to return. And they weren't the same anymore the rest of that game. AJ Brown happened to play the rest of that season. And you see what happened. The Eagles went to the Super Bowl. Last year, AJ Brown was out a few games. And those games that he happened to be out, the Eagles either lost badly or they struggled really bad. And this year, AJ Brown was out early and it happened again. So I started looking at that game this season, and I think AJ Brown was actually arguing about not getting the ball when he felt like he was open. We know the Randy Mosses, the Michael Irvins of the league. If you're a wide receiver and you open, give me the ball. Completely understandable. For Jalen Hurts, I think it took me back to when he was at Alabama, and I always question. I even asked this on our show when I was talking to Leo. Why do you get pulled in a championship game when you've been the guy the entire year? We haven't pulled you at any point throughout the season, and we picked the championship game to pull you. Bold move by the coach. Obviously, the right move because they won, but bold move by the coach. And instead of Hurts staying and saying, no, this is my team and this is my job, he moved on to go to Oklahoma. Not even saying that was a bad idea because he had one of his best college years there, but it was something to me that says it's something about the kid. It's either his ego, something about his attitude, or something that there's some dynamic that doesn't rub right with someone. And I think that that's what I pointed out with Ro when me and him were talking yesterday about AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. There's
Well, I was hold up, not to cut you off. I'm gonna interject a little bit, and I'm gonna say that throughout that championship game, if you really look at it, Jalen Hurts was not throwing the ball. He kept running. Every single time he got some little pressure, he kept running, kept running, kept running. And you know, somebody like a Nick Saban, somebody like a Mike Tomlin, somebody like a Bill Belichick will not take that from their quarterback. They're going to pull him. You know what I mean? So that I just feel like at that moment, Jalen Hurts was still a very young player, and I think that moment was a little too big for him. And Saban actually seen it and seen what was going on, and wanted to stop the bleeding. And Tua was basically, I mean, a pocket passing quarterback, everything that they needed to go, to win.
you remember that Jalen Hurts got the most rushing yards as an Alabama quarterback that year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But that's
So,
not
so
his. But
hold on, hold
that,
on. So, okay to be a running quarterback until the championship game.
well, it's not that. I think that it was like, okay, you're running, but you should be throwing the ball right now.
No, no, no. I'm totally on your side. I'm saying that in defense of my argument, not that you were saying that I was wrong, but in
Yeah.
defense of my argument with what you said, I think that that may be the case with Philadelphia this year. If you look at how many rushing yards Jalen Hurts has, which is about 600 or something like that, and in the touchdowns, but how comfortable they got with the tush push on fourth down. It's got a name now that they've gotten so comfortable with him running the ball on fourth down. You get touchdowns in the goal line. You're taking away things that would make AJ Brown AJ Brown. AJ Brown could have Justin Jefferson numbers. That's how he feels. I'm not saying that he, and I don't, and I can't necessarily argue with him since he's been producing since he's been a Philadelphia Eagle. When he left the Titans, I think his most yards was 1,400 yards, maybe 1,500 yards. He should be at 1,700 every year with the Eagles, the way that they run their offense. He can get them a possible touchdown or a touchdown look a quarter based on what he's been doing since he's been with them. I can argue that maybe that's what the argument is about, outside of the fact that I'm now Robin to a Batman when the whole time I should be Batman and that should be Robin. When most people know that no quarterback's gonna ever get more shine than their quarterback. I mean, no wide receiver's gonna ever get more shine than their quarterback.
Yeah, just to let you guys know that it's the end of the half. They ended the half with a short pass to Quez Watkins for 6 yards. Levante David on the tackle. So we are at halftime with a 16-9 ball game. Eagles are down at the half in Tampa Bay to the Tampa Bay Bucs. Tampa Bay, that place looks sold out too, and it is not an Eagle fan at all. So if they won't try, I see a few, but very, very few. It's mostly you can see all red. It's 98% Tampa Bay down there. So if they won't even travel to beautiful Tampa Bay during a time where there's a snowstorm up here on the East Coast, then they're definitely not going to Detroit to do anything. That
Yeah,
place will
nah.
be 100% Michigan, Detroit fans up there.
Yeah.
Just my expectation.
Phillies
They don't
fans don't
travel
go
to
nowhere
it.
but here.
And I think, real quick, I think the Eagles should feel horrible that they fumbled not getting any points before the half was over. They
I
were
agree with that.
in range, and I don't know how they didn't get that. With 32 seconds with no timeouts, you had enough time to be able to spike that and get a field goal out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I think that you really gotta that at least Philly needs to open up. They only had 9 points in that first half. I mean, that might not get it done. Baker Mayfield has his coming off a career high 4,000 yard season with 28 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. So even in despite of Philly, so a lot of people feel Philly is the better team, but they have right now um the Baker Mayfield has outgained Jalen Hurts by maybe a couple hundred yards, but he still outgained him. He has more touchdowns, less interceptions. So that goes to show that, Baker Mayfield it has the potential to outgun Jalen Hurts. So them being down in this half is not, might not be the best thing, especially when you don't have AJ Brown and you might have to potentially lean on your pass a little bit. I think Tampa Bay is in really good position if they want to pull the upset here.
And I think Tampa Bay is going to use the strategy that we did a couple of years ago and run the ball in the half Think of it may be really difficult for the Eagles to get back in this because there's quick strike team. And if they're not able to have the ball to be able to use that quick strike ability, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that um, when you look at Philadelphia top to bottom, they have a 30th ranked defense. So regardless of whether they like it or not, they are in a precarious position because their defense isn't the best. And to Vito's point, their secondary isn't the best either. So when you're down like that and your defense ain't the best, you trading on hot water. Regardless of who you playing, you still trading on hot water when you don't have a good defense. Defense wins championships for a reason. And again, that Tampa Bay place will be rocking in the second half. Jalen Hurts is 2 of 2 in career playoff, 2 and 2 in career playoff starts. Baker Mayfield is 1 and 1 in career playoff starts, both on the road for Baker Mayfield. So this is his first home playoff game to date. Shout out to everybody out there tuning in, baby. You are rocking with the Nature Sports Podcast, man. This is the Tampa Bay Bucs and the Philadelphia Eagles, man. The earlier game, Buffalo Bills walked away with the win in Buffalo to set the whole stage for the AFC playoffs. And I'm going to get these matchups up for y'all shortly. But so far, out of all the teams, what you guys think about the teams that's left over in the AFC? Do y'all got favorites? We know who the 4 teams are. Excuse me, let me go through them. It's Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore, and we got one more. Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore. How could I forget the Houston, Texas? CJ Stroud in them. The Young Gunners, baby. The Young Gun. Out of everybody, the Young Gunners left in the Final Four. Who would have thought that with D'Amico Ryans and company? What y'all think about the teams left?
Leo, I want to know what you think, man. It's your man first start on the road in the playoffs.
Who you talking about? Stroud?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, you talking about Pat? Oh yeah. Like I said yesterday. Right now, I think the Ravens is the best team in the AFC. But I think my dark horse is Patty, man. Pat Mahomes, man.
Never played on the road in the playoffs.
It does not matter. He's still Patrick Mahomes, bruh.
Hey, man.
He's still Patty. He's still Pat, man. Come on, like
you
respect the man. Like he never played a road game.
They cleaning up the Buffalo Stadium yesterday,
Bruh.
They
Yes, against the Dolphins this week.
No. I'm talking about Buffalo.
No, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying, you're saying Buffalo, but guess what that Kansas City Stadium was this week? It was Buffalo.
Nah, it wasn't Buffalo. They still had their game. Buffalo ain't had a game because Buffalo.
I mean, yeah, but what I'm saying is that the conditions, the snow, the ice, the cold.
No. They was like that because Miami don't know how to play in that. That would have been a home game for Buffalo.
Right. I can agree with that. But what I'm saying is it's not going to hurt Kansas City as much as it might hurt another team. You get what I mean? Pat always play in the cold in the playoffs.
You're right.
Kansas City always cold in the playoffs.
You're right. Yeah. They got to play against somebody. It's going to be warm to them. It'll be warm to them cats in Buffalo. They live in that.
When the weather is really cold, excuse me, Josh Harris is flawless. I mean, Josh Allen is flawless, man. He's flawless when the weather is cold.
But to be honest, I'm not gonna act like Buffalo ain't Buffalo. You know what I mean? Buffalo been there, they battle tested. Yes, they could beat Kansas City. You know what I mean? So, and it's really hard to not say the winner of that game won't go to the Super Bowl. But just in my opinion, if you're looking at who got the easier road, say that D'Amico Ryan.
No easy road in the playoff. Not on the AFC. There's no easy road in the AFC. I think all 14 are I'm not gonna take nothing away from. Look, if we gave Jordan Love his props, CJ Stroud only in
Joe
Yeah,
Burrow.
CJ.
And,
No, that's what I'm saying. I personally like the CJ Stroud over Bryce Young.
yes, 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 yes. Bryce
You
Young's
know
an
what I'm
athlete.
saying?
I don't even know if we're gonna be talking about that guy anymore.
No, no, no. In my opinion, I mean, you still gotta see if he's going to develop. You know, how is he going to develop? I mean, he was actually one of the best quarterbacks from high
As a
school through
baseball player,
college.
he played baseball,
You
right?
know, no, he played baseball, yes, but no, I'm talking about football. If
He
you
said
go back,
he tried
if you go back and look at
tried
if you go look at
both
Last Chance U, right?
baseball.
Huh?
As I think him and Kyler Murray should try baseball. They would have good careers in baseball.
Bruh, listen, bruh. Hear me out though. I'm gonna just say this. Bryce Young been that guy since high school, since 10th grade. Best player in the country.
But I don't know.
Whatever.
He's a
So,
little small.
so
That's my only
I,
thing with him. He's small. He kind of small.
but this is what I was saying. What I was saying yesterday, like what I was saying yesterday. Sometimes with them high draft picks, you need a couple years, but they're still more advanced usually than the guys that are lower draft. So
No.
you need 2, 3 years, and they develop into being something major. Some guys like CJ Stroud come in, they in a good situation, they in a good system, they got the right things around them, and it worked. But
Carolina,
that's not as often as you think.
they made their pick. They were doing drugs before they made their pick, and nobody will take them to court and ask them what they were thinking before they did. Because that's exactly what it was. Bryce Young, whether he was the best quarterback in college last year or not, here's why you don't make that pick. You don't make that pick because if you get it wrong, you set your franchise back 3 to 5 seasons. The
I agree.
reason being because you built your team around a quarterback that you can't even use, which means you have to go back and do this again. If
Mm,
you feel like we can't go do this again because we're already invested, you now have to build more players around this quarterback that you're not sure about. You've
mm.
already lost a coach to this situation. You're already pop. Didn't you lose a GM earlier this year, or something like that? Like they just
I
got
mean,
owner not that long ago. Like these are
the
things.
coach was on his way out the door anyway. When you are that high of a draft choice, you usually are on the hot seat anyway.
So and they won one game this year. That's what I'm saying. Even if you don't feel like it was just the quarterback's fault, one game. I don't listen to me. Howell got us at least how, that Denver game. All Sam Howell. All right. To me, that Denver game was all him. So if that Denver game was all that we got and we lost the rest of the games, I still don't want that to be my quarterback. But here's the thing with Howell. He's not a midget. He's not the smallest person in
That's
the
true.
NFL. Bryce Young is the smallest person in the NFL.
Yeah,
I
he's small.
also do not want him to get injured on my watch because he's going to get hurt and may not ever play again if he gets hurt because of how small he is. Then if he gets hurt, you can't ever make him any stronger than what he is. He could at biggest he's going to get to be Kyler Murray, and he's still not going to be as big as him, even if you add 10, 20 pounds of muscle onto the kid. It's a very dangerous situation to pick him so. Don't get me now. I'm not saying he shouldn't be in the NFL. That's not what I'm saying at all. I think the kid has a talented arm. I think he's at a very, 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 very bad disadvantage being the number one overall pick. This is like picking Kwame Brown. Michael Jordan knew that he was too young and that he was not ready. But because of the hype that everybody told, mind you, this is when Mike should have realized that people weren't for his best interest. He got lied to. All right, everybody knew that. No, everybody knew in that draft that a high school kid was because the Dwight Howards, because the J.R. Smiths, the prior years before got picked. Everybody was on that high school train, and that these guys are the next guys.
KG and Kobe blew it up though. KG and Kobe blew it up.
Yeah, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Everybody knew that Kwame Brown wasn't it. Every,
Yeah.
everybody knew that except for Michael Jordan. And Abe Poland set him up too. Like you're gonna get the team, just get Kwame. Get Kwame.
Hey,
Got you.
hey, Poland had cancer. He was trying to get rid of the team, if you ask me.
And that's why he told Mike to pick Kwame Brown. He said, Mike, you can get the team if you pick Kwame Brown. Just pick Kwame, coach him up, get it, you know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. Yeah, I got you. And as soon as that shit started looking bad, Abe was like, yeah, I never said that. I don't remember. I don't remember telling you can get a team. Mike,
Just to get everybody caught up, it was the Eagles got the ball coming out of the half. It was a 1 yard run for a loss. Sorry, a 1 yard loss on the run for DeAndre Swift. And then Jalen Hurts threw a long pass to Quez Watkins, which was overthrown. And it was a sack on the 3rd down and 10 by Chauncey by Cansey on the sack, and they will punt 44-yard punt to the Tampa Bay 41-yard line. So Tampa Bay gets the ball in great field
great
position.
field position, yeah.
Yeah, on the second half coming
First,
out. This is dangerous, man. Dangerous for Philly.
I mean,
Philly's in
they
dangerous
they could
territory.
put this game away right here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And Baker Mayfield with a short pass to the left to Otten. Otten is looking good to the 11-yard line. I'm sorry, 11 yards to the Philly 48-yard line. Zach Cunningham with the tackle. Man, Otten look good, man. Otten's been a weapon.
For my prop bettors, do not bet on Otten next week. If you missed this week, you just missed the train. I'm gonna be real. Otten is not a person that normally gets consistent passes thrown his way. He'll get 3 or 4 maybe a game, but this is his game, and I assume that he will have a good game for the rest of the game.
Yeah, Otten's been a mismatch for them. I think
Yeah.
52, the guy who's checking him, Cunningham, 52, don't seem to be able to keep up with him.
Yeah,
52
exactly.
do not seem to be able to keep up with him. Baker Mayfield back to Otten again for a 3-yard catch. I guess we spoke him up.
What I say, he gonna keep having a good game. This is gonna be his game. He might have 8 catches. You know, he might have 8, 9 catches. He's gonna ball out for the rest of the game. You know, and I wasn't taking nothing from him when I said don't bet on him next week. It's just that when I've watched Tampa Bay consecutive weeks, man, Otten to go off, and so if he's going off, that's gonna be a bad sign for Philly. That's gonna be a
Absolutely.
long day for Philly.
And now he's going to Otten, to your point. He's going to Otten because they have 6 drops tonight. The Tampa Bay Bucs have 6 drops tonight. 6.
Yeah, that Mike Evans drop in the beginning of the game was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, they have 6 drops tonight. The offensive coordinator is David Canals for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The head coach is Todd Bowles, as we talked about earlier. I mean, Tampa Bay raw with it, man. Tampa Bay raw with it. At least this year, he's that guy. I wouldn't mind looking at him. He's done a masterful job with Baker Mayfield. Mayfield's had his best season.
I mean, I'm gonna be real though. Baker, remember when Baker came out, you kept saying you ain't like Baker. I was like, nah, Baker, all right, Baker good.
No, I liked Baker, actually. Baker wasn't, to me, I did rate him. Now, even though I might talk a little trash about him, I did rate him the highest quarterback in the draft that year. So and he came out the same year as John Allen.
What people don't know is they underestimate Baker's gun. Baker had, out of the top 5 long passes last year, Baker had 3. So, like, a lot of people been sleeping on Baker, man. I think Baker a baller, man.
I definitely think so as well. On the 3rd down, Baker Mayfield is sacked by Fletcher Cox on the 3rd down and 7 for a 10-yard loss. They will have to punt. So you had 2 3-and-outs by both teams coming out. It was a 42-yard, 42-yard punt to the Philly 13. Philly gets the ball. They'll start their drive at the 13. That was huge by Fletcher Cox. Huge. Yeah. They needed that. But that's why I say I'm not sure that Tampa Bay, even if Tampa Bay gets through this one, what are they going to do next week against San Francisco? Because that's who they play.
Nothing.
And we'll see a Green Bay Detroit playoff game, which would be massive.
Yeah, I would love to see that, to be honest. I'm not gonna hold you. I like division playoff games.
I love them.
You know, I like them because they've already played each other. It's a drag out game. It's not a bunch of high scoring games either. It's not people just scoring touchdowns to score. You know, it's personal. It's hard hits. Like it reminds you of uh, a Baltimore Steelers game or a Baltimore Cincinnati game. It's grungy when you see those two teams because they already don't like each other.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Shout out to everybody out there listening. This is the Nature Sports Podcast. You are listening to the Philadelphia Eagles, or watching one or the other. You're watching the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Philadelphia Eagles are down in Tampa Bay 16-9. Tampa, but they do have the ball at their own 13-yard line, deep in their own territory. Both teams has went 3 and out in the second half. Right now, we have 11:23 left in the third quarter in this one. So
Speaking of
this is
quarterbacks, what do y'all think about the Giants possibly getting Jay Daniels?
oh,
Do y'all
that's who they
think we
wanted. Have
could?
they talked about it? They've talked about it.
That's what a lot of mock drafts got on the chart. I'm just saying, what y'all think about that? Do y'all think that we should allow that?
Let me
I
say
mean,
this. Go ahead. Go ahead. Point.
look, I look at it like this. Um, the Giants are in a position to pick a good quarterback regardless. So if they choose to say, okay, Daniel Jones, you're done, we are going to go with somebody else. Any of the 3, 4 quarterbacks that they could potentially choose are going to be decent quarterbacks. God damn, Julio Jones got hurt. He's been ruled out. Yeah, so I really think that the Giants have a really good potential to go ahead and get a good quarterback, and there's nothing that anybody can do to stop it.
Yeah, I agree. However, let me say this: they gave Daniel Jones a huge contract, so I don't know what they're going to do with Daniel Jones. If they draft their Jalen Daniels, are they going to sit him on the bench behind Daniel Jones? I think that's a mistake because he might learn some of the habits he don't need to learn. It's a shotgun scramble for 13 yards by Jalen Hurts. A holding on the play that will come back. Half the distance to the goal. They'll start now at their 5. Um, I don't know what you do. And Jalen Hurts took a shot. He took a shot there. I don't think you. I don't think you. I don't think you get rid of Daniel Jones. I mean, you got a massive contract there, and I don't want Jalen Hurt. I don't want Jaden Daniels behind a bad quarterback. Because I think you saw what happened with Aaron Rodgers and the boy out there, Jordan Love. He was around a good quarterback, and he picked up, as we can see, he picked up on a lot of Aaron Rodgers' game. Y'all saw it out there. Look at what you saw. He looked like Aaron Rodgers out there. You could tell he picked up on his throwing motions, on a whole bunch of stuff. Even though his game was similar to Aaron Rodgers when he came out, this is even more, you see him, he's even more, he's running that offense pretty much like Aaron Rodgers with the quick snaps and a whole bunch of other different things. So, I got to give some credit where credit is due. Um, I would want him behind a good quarterback, a decent quarterback. I'm not sure I would want him behind a quarterback who's not good. That's just the way I see it. What you think, Point? Or Big
Uh,
Sean?
Um, I could say that, but honestly, I don't know if plug and play is as beneficial as we say it is. Sometimes you do learn better on the job, so I'm not gonna say it doesn't work. But even if he's behind, what's the name for 1 year, even if he's behind Daniel for more than 1 year, or I mean for 1 year, I don't think that hurts him, but so much. I don't think that it kills him at all.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Jalen Hurts scrambles they had a short yard pass to Devontae Smith for -4 yards. He lost 4 on that one. Then Jalen Hurts scrambled out the right side to the Philly 14 for 5 yards, which will leave you with a 3rd and 9 for the Philadelphia Eagles, deep in their own territory. They are not threatening to score at all. They're just deep in their own territory with about 5 minutes gone off of the quarter. So you got 9:21 left. And yeah, that's where we are now. Philly deep in their own territory. Jalen Hurts incomplete pass to Dallas Goddard. There's a penalty on the play. Pass interference. Pass interference on a 4-yard throw. I just don't get it. I
Yeah,
just don't get it.
that's a
I just
dumb
don't
play.
get it.
Very dumb play.
I just don't get it. I just don't get that one. I just don't get that one. First and 10 for Philly. DeAndre Swift out to the Philly 20-yard line for 2 yards. I will say that Todd Bowles is coaching his behind off on that defensive side of the ball. Even though the Philly is missing A.J. Brown, he's probably their best weapon right now on that offensive side, so I don't want to dismiss that. However, Todd Bowles is calling a good game. You got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think Todd Bowles has been very, very, very consistent as a good coach so far in this game, and I like to see what's going to transpire.
Absolutely. DeAndre Swift gets 2 straight tackles for 2 yards apiece. You're looking at a 3rd and 6 on this one from the Philadelphia 22-yard line. That was a stupid penalty, though. The pass interference, he grabbed him. Even if he catches the ball, you right there. You can make the tackle. He doesn't get the first. You're just trying to get them off of the field. That's really your goal there. And for whatever reason, he opted to grab him. Don't understand that. That defensive front is playing good over there with Tampa Bay as well. On the 3rd and 5, you had a short pass to Kenneth Gainwell to the Philly 23 for 1 yard. They will punt it. I mean, Philly don't look good. I'm gonna keep it real. Philly does not. Their offense, especially, do not look good. Their defense is really keeping them in it. But my thing is, Tampa Bay gonna have to get some room while they have an opportunity, because if you let them stick around to the end of this one, they're gonna take it. They will take it easily.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now. It's like I don't know if Philly got the fight left in them to continue to, go along in this game. We gotta see what they do next time they get their hands on the ball. But this ain't looking good at all.
No, their offense does not look good. But again, without AJ Brown, like we said before, they basically only had DeAndre Swift. Did had 1,000 yards this year, and he had 39 catches. However, how impactful was that when you only got one receiver? Was it AJ Brown and them rolling coverage towards AJ Brown, which opened things up for him? That's the question.
Mhm.
I mean, of course it did. It opened up some stuff. I mean, when you got a player that is 125 yards a game for 5, 6 straight games, you would assume that the defenses are going to start to you assume that the defense are going to start to like really key in on that player. So yeah, I mean, yes, it helped Smith, but I think Smith a baller. He got 5 receptions, 107 yards, 55-yard long, reception. The most anybody else has right now is Julio Jones, who is not going to return to this game, and he is 3 receptions for 22 yards.
Hmm.
Quez Watkins got 12 yards. Gardner got 11 yards. Nobody else is doing anything but Smith. So I really can't say nothing about Smith. Smith showed up. Some Quez Watkins, Dallas Gardner, a couple of other players got to show up.
I agree. Going into this one, we pretty much said that Philly, their first option is AJ Brown. Second option, Smith. Third option, Swift. But then after that, what do you got? You got Goddard here and there. Didn't they get rid of Zach Ertz for Goddard? How's that working out for him?
Yeah, game well.
Zach Ertz was on the tail end of his career, so I'm not going to say that they were in the wrong for doing that.
I agree, but I think Zach Ertz will be giving you more right now on this stage.
Maybe. I'm not saying he wouldn't. I can't disagree with that. But I'm gonna say that I don't feel like it was a bad choice. I don't.
Absolutely. Tampa Bay with the ball after the Philly punt, 52 yards to the Tampa Bay. That was a massive punt. Massive punt by man out to the Tampa Bay 25-yard line. Tompkins had a 11-yard return to the Tampa Bay 36 after the great punt. Tampa Bay with the ball. Baker Mayfield short pass to the right to Auden to the Tampa Bay 43, 7 yards. Auden again. That name pops up again. That
Yeah, I
name
knew
pops up
Arden was
again.
gonna have a. I, I should have bet with Arden, but I was a little worried because of his up and down, and he had a good game last game. So I will say I was a little worried about betting on Arden, but Arden is showing up big. Honestly, Mike Evans and Chris
He's been a
Godwin
dud.
disappeared, both of them.
Yeah, they've been duds today. They've been duds. Especially Mike Evans has one catch the whole game. He's definitely been a dud.
So does Chris Godwin. Both of them only had one catch.
Yeah, I agree.
But Baker, this is on Baker now. Baker, you got Arden going, and that's going to squeeze the coverage a little bit. So you have to take advantage of this. You
Auden
got
had 7 receptions for 83 yards and on 10 targets. So that clock is steady trickling down though. 6:43 left in the third quarter. Tampa Bay moving the ball. They are at the Philly 45-yard line. You had a run up the middle by White for 12 yards, got them down to the Philly 45. And then after that, you had a short pass to the left to Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin out of bounds at the Philly 37 for an 8-yard gain. You got a 2nd and 2. You're looking at 2nd and 2 from the Philly 37. So, to your point, Godwin heard you. Godwin heard you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Godwin got a. Like I said, this is a situation where we're looking at we're looking at a team like we're looking at both teams, right? And Auden, he's going off. Smith is going off on the other side of the ball. Who else is going to step up? I mean, Godwin just stepped up on that play, but who else is going to step up to win this game? Because the two people that's been consistent right now, they doing their job. So you need someone else.
I agree. Might be Mayfield. Mayfield throwing strikes though. We got to be clear about that. Mayfield looks really
Well,
good today. Even if he's taking what the defense is giving him. They giving him Auden. He's taking it. They rolling coverage towards Evans. They probably rolling coverage towards Godwin at times. He's taking what they giving him. They giving him Auden. He's gonna take it. I kind of like it. And I mean, and a lot of people may talk trash about it or may say his numbers don't look like this, that, and the other. But really, in a playoff game, you just want to take what they give you. You don't want to turn the ball over. So I'm actually fine with that.
Baker been balling, man. Baker been all right, 14 for 28, 195 and a touchdown. You really can't say that that's a bad game. But even if you look at Hurts, Hurts is 16 for 23. He's at 69% passing, 162 yards and a touchdown. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty impressive.
Baker Mayfield sacked on the play. It was a 3rd and 1. I mean, I don't know why they passing it there. Sorry, yeah, it was a 3rd and 1. He was sacked. I just don't have no idea why they passing it there. I would have handed the ball off to White. Um, but nonetheless, they went back to pass. He was sacked on the play, knocking him back 9 yards. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to punt in this one. So this is just basically the punt bowl right now, the punt playoff bowl. Nick Sirianni is telling Jalen Hurts though, and I'm gonna give Nick Sirianni a little credit here. He's over there in Jalen Hurts' ear, like, this is your chance. They letting you hang around. You got to do something.
I mean, Hurts can't do nothing that his offensive line is not going to allow him to do. And right now, The offensive line hasn't really done anything much. Right now, he has a 103 passer rating, so it's not him. It's not Hurts. 7 incompleted passes. A 10. He's at 103.9 passer rating. No interceptions. Hasn't turned the ball over. It's not Hurts. It's not. Can't really say it's on him.
I agree. I agree. Um, but I think he should take more what Mayfield is doing. And another thing is the Mayfield has had pressure in his face all game long. I don't know how he's going to handle San Francisco after this. I really do not know how he handles the San Francisco 49ers with the way that they're handling the Eagles defense. The Eagles defense is good. Defensive front is good. I mean, for whatever reason, it hasn't really translated to a lot of on the points side of it because they are the 30th ranked defense in terms of points. However, their defensive front is legit. I mean, even without Hargrave, you still got Josh Sweat and them boys over there, and Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox. I mean, that's still a good defense. So I mean, you really gotta hone in a little bit on why is Baker Mayfield getting sacked so much, and can that defensive front handle San Francisco going up into San Francisco in a divisional matchup where the stakes is a little bit higher, so the crowd will be a little bit more into it, so you won't be able to hear them. You won't be able to have really no communication with your line, and if they're having trouble getting off the ball now, I can imagine what it's going to be like next week against San Francisco.
Well, Tampa Bay is being really balanced right now. Yeah, he'll be okay. I think Tampa Bay is
I totally agree. I totally agree. Tampa Bay is definitely 1,000,000%. Um, they might be all right, but again, San Francisco's defensive front is legit. So
Well, I'm saying
it,
they've been balanced. So Baker Mayfield has 30 attempts. You
that's
know what I
true.
mean? It's been 14 rushes. So I think that they should be a little more balanced. They should run the ball a little bit more, and it might help Baker a little bit.
Kenneth Gainwell with the run to the right end, tackled by Levante David. Levante David is playing lights out in this one. He's playing lights out in this one for sure. Baker Mayfield over there talking it up with his line. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind that one. I like to see that with Baker Mayfield's passing percentage is low though. It's low. It's low. It's about around 50%, 52%, 53%. So that's pretty low for a playoff game or any game for that matter. So their defense is really keeping them in it. Levante David with a massive play. Philly is deep in their own territory. I mean, it don't look like they gonna get out of this hole. It's just the fact that Tampa Bay isn't really taking advantage of it. Tampa Bay's had multiple chances to take this game to a two-possession game, and it is late in the third quarter, so they could really use a two-possession game right now. I mean, and it'll do all but put it out of reach.
Well, they are Philly is 0 for 6 on third down conversions right now, and that is really really bad. When you look at, you got to convert on third down, and being 0 for 6 is not going to help at all.
I totally agree with that. You got to get third down, especially in the playoffs. That's not gonna work. Jalen Hurts with a pass out to the 10-yard line to Dallas Goddard. Sorry, a pass out to the 14, to the Philly 14 for 10 yards to Dallas Goddard. And then Jalen Hurts an incomplete pass to Nelson. So, but it's a penalty on Philly. Jalen Hurts intentional grounding, 14 yards. It forced in the end zone. Safety, 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 safety.
Oh, that's exactly what Tampa Bay
That's what
needed.
they needed. That's what they needed. That's what they needed.
Because
That's what they needed.
that makes it a two possession game.
Hey, we just said it though. I mean, y'all are
No,
witnessing the Nature Sports Network live, man. Nature Sports Network live, man. We just called it. This is a two-possession game. The defense has shown up for Tampa Bay. They have shown up. Jalen Hurts looked extremely uncomfortable. Extremely uncomfortable, man. I know the Philly fans are going crazy right now. And y'all already know how we do with the Twitterverse, man. So we're going to jump on there soon and see what they got going on Twitter, man. Because I know Jalen Hurts is feeling the steam and feeling the heat out there for that one. For this one. Doesn't look good for Jalen Hurts right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it
Looking
is
like
what
the
it is.
NFC East had a bad showing in the playoffs this year.
Because I'm gonna be real, I'm gonna be real. The two teams that made it to the playoffs, they beat up on bad teams, and it made it seem like they were good teams. They're not good teams. They're teams that can beat bad teams, teams that ain't got it
And,
all together right.
and let's not forget what the Eagles did to Tampa Bay when they played them. They beat them early
Yeah,
in the season.
yeah,
Let's not
Yeah,
forget that.
but this is not the same Tampa Bay team, nor the same Eagles team.
yeah, man. Shaq Bird and company look good up front, man. They look good up front. And Todd Bowles, man, you got to give him some credit. You got to give Bowles some credit, man. I wanted to look at Bowles when we got Rivera. I wanted them to take a look at Bowles. We didn't do it,
Yeah.
but I mean, Bowles showing out. It just like we gave credit. We giving credit to Johnson. We giving credit to the other coordinators. LaFleur, we gave him massive praise last night. We gave credit to everybody. The staff down there with the Miko Ryans and them down there in Houston. You got to give Bowles and them some credits, man. They've shut them down to 9 points. They shut the Eagles down to 9 points. Granted, the Eagles do not have AJ Brown, which is their best weapon this season. However, this is the defending NFC champions, man. He's just the Super Bowl representative last year. So they look good, man. They playing man on man, getting in Hurts' face and playing physical. And it's short, and they've shown up today.
I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. Hurts, you got to get the ball
Yeah,
out earlier than that. That safety is on Hurts.
I agree. I agree with that one. But I
You know,
mean, he ain't got
Ain't no way he can get the ball out. They're playing that Tampa 2, playing that cover one on them,
throw it
and blitzing
away,
them. He ain't good under pressure. We know that.
bruh. You can throw it away. It's no shame in throwing it away, throwing it near a receiver but out of bounds. There's no shame in that.
Jalen Hurts tonight, 10 for 16, 57 yards and 2 touchdowns. This is really ugly, man. I'm going to keep it real. Let me go to Twitter and see what they saying, what they got on Hurts, man. This is really ugly, man. This is really
No,
ugly.
Hurts is 17 for 25, 172 in a
Okay,
touchdown.
sorry. In this quarter. In this quarter. It could be in the quarter.
Versus the blitz. That's versus the blitz. He 10 for 16, 56 yards.
Got you. Got you. Got you. Got you. It is a throw and a catch. Tampa Bay is on the run. Touchdown. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They showed up, didn't they? They showed up.
Yeah, that might have put it out right there.
Yeah.
That
Baker
might have put
Mayfield to Palmer. Palmer. Trey Palmer with the 56-yard touchdown. 24-9.
Oh my goodness,
Tampa
that
Bay
boy
Bucks.
put the pedal to the metal on that one. Straight
and right there,
gas.
and right there,
Bradbury.
all I need is one more bet to for and that's Chris Godwin to get about three more receptions before this game is over. And my bet to go through. Well, I did a dollar bet. I just wanted to throw something out there. I ain't even gonna act like I bet a whole lot of money. Just a dollar, win like
Where's the bet?
$6. You know what I mean on the props. Right now, I had Baker Mayfield over 240 yards. I had Chris Godwin for 4.5 receptions. I had I had excuse me, I'm gonna double check that. I had Baker Mayfield over 240, well 241 basically. Baker Mayfield with two touchdowns. He got those two touchdowns. He got that 240. Um, right now, Julio Jones. I had Julio Jones as well for two receptions. He had three. Chris Godwin 4.5 receptions, and this will be a win.
So, based on Twitter, they are dogging the Eagles. They said, one guy tagged, he said, F this, Eagles wake up. And then another guy said, the Eagles are genuinely just not good. The offense is frustrated because the scheme and the play calling is so bad, which is forcing Jalen to play hero ball, which isn't working. Defense is just bad, though. Eagles need to clean house. Is that the answer to everything? Just clean. Everybody just want to clean house. Everybody clean house. Yep, it is looking bad in Philadelphia. Another one. Howie sucks. Sirianni sucks. Anyone involved in anyone involved in the Bradbury situation should be fired. Eagles are a stupid team. That's JM Kids at JM Kids on Twitter. Boy, Twitter is really giving it to the Eagles right now. They are really giving it to the Eagles right now. Let me continue to get these tweets rolling in.
That
Done.
is just bad tackling.
Are done. That's what they. And we got somebody talking about the tackling too. Man, man. Jalen Hurts playing like he hurt. That's what they said. Jalen Hurts playing like he hurt. Oh my goodness, that's a funny one right there. Horrible offensive game by Philly. Fly Eagles fly. Nelson fouls. Philly sucked in the end zone. Oh my goodness. Jalen Hurts is ASS. Trade him. He just got exposed. Do what you think. Do or what do you think you was trying to throw the ball away? He is not an elite quarterback. Then you got another Philly flash flipping the table. He literally flipped the table, all his stuff on the drink, all his stuff on there. He just flipping the table. Oh, he's at work, it looks like, and he just flipped the table. Hurts got only one read. Shake my head. They sucked the life right out of them. Sarah Fishstar at Sarah Fishstar 87. Eagles, you flopping right now. Philadelphia Eagles. This team was 10-1 at one point. Might be the biggest implosion in NFL history. The next 15 minutes might decide Nick Sirianni's future in Philadelphia. I disagree with that. Now let's be clear. Nick Sirianni took this team to the Super Bowl last year and then had them 10-1 to this guy's point when A.J. Brown was on the field. They needed A.J. Brown a little bit more than I think they anticipated. So I think A.J. Brown missing is more than what they thought. Dang, man, the NFC East look bad in these playoffs, Joe.
So he's out because he got into it with Hurts or
That's
what?
basically what the narrative is. That him and Hurts got into it at some point. I mean, he's on the injury report, so I mean, but a lot of people said he faked the injury. DeAndre Swift came back with a big run up the middle. The Eagles moving the ball. They moving the ball. They out to the Philly 44. A shotgun pass to DeAndre Smith to the Tampa Bay 37 for 19 yards. Here go the Eagles. The Eagles tonight have 36 rushing yards. In week 3, they had 201 against Tampa Bay. And still lost. It's a Big Sun's point. They still lost. They said Jalen Hurts legit walked back to the end zone and caused the safety. WTF happened to Philly and this team? What happened to Philly and this team? Oh my goodness. Twitter is blowing up on Philly right now. That is the end of the third quarter. After the pass of Devontae Smith, Philly is at the Tampa Bay 37-yard line. They are down right now by 2 touchdowns. Still a 2-possession game. They are down 9-25 in Tampa Bay, and it don't look good right now. Shout out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Y'all going to enjoy this one. Shout out to Todd Bowles. The game ain't over, though. We got 1 quarter left, and the NFC playoff side will be set. The AFC is already set. We'll have Baltimore and Houston, and then we'll have Tampa Bay. We'll have Kansas City and Buffalo. That is going to be a barn burner in Buffalo. The rematch. The rematch. The rematch. This time it's in Buffalo, though. You're not looking at this. You know, the rematch. This is crazy. Crazy football, man. Crazy football going on. This is the Nature Sports Podcast. It's ETA Money Road, Big Son. Vito. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
sir.
Uptown Vito. Point B, y'all know what it do, man. We gonna bring y'all all these good playoff games, the many as we can. Earlier, the Buffalo Bills moved on, beating the the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Pittsburgh played them tough, even though the game ended up where it was 31-17. Pittsburgh still played them tough. It was a close game all the way into the fourth quarter. So I want to shout out all the Pittsburgh fans. Y'all got nothing to hide your head about. Y'all had a backup quarterback in Mason Rudolph. That's not who you started the season with. So I think it just came back to haunt you. All the teams with backup quarterbacks lost in the first round. That would be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the and then Joe Flacco and the Browns. They also had a backup quarterback. So I mean, this is I I want to say surprising, but I kind of called it. I knew it would be one upset tomorrow, and I said if it ain't Buffalo, I didn't think it would be Buffalo. So that leaves Philly.
Yeah. How is it surprising, son? How is it surprising?
The records. I mean, one team does have a better record than the other one. So the records is what makes it surprising.
What does that mean when you're beating up on bad teams?
They have some decent wins this year, though. I would assume. I'm just going to assume they have some decent wins. They beat the Cowboys, I think. Didn't they beat the Cowboys?
The Cowboys is another team that beats up on bad teams.
Right, but they still. I mean, that's a decent win. You would
That's
say
not to me.
we can't say it's a good win for Green Bay, but not a good win for Philly.
I cannot. All right. Let me say this: a win in the playoffs is a good win. Period.
I agree.
Okay, so regardless of the team that you're playing, beating the team in the playoffs is a good win. My thing is that with Philly beating Dallas, a division opponent or whatever the case may be, a division opponent that's beat up on other bad teams. When you look at us and the Giants this year, we were bad, and the Giants were bad. So that's 4 games right there against bad teams for both of those teams. You get what I'm saying? So take away those 4 wins.
Philly lost to the Giants.
Yeah, Philly did lose to the Giants the second time. The first time they won. So with Dallas, let's say 4 wins. With Philly, 3 wins against bad teams. So now you got to go look at who else they beat. Who else did they beat? Philly beat a bad Dallas. Technically, a team like Dallas that beats up on bad teams.
Jalen Hurts with the throw to Devontae Smith. This was a strike to Devontae Smith over the middle. They are down to the Tampa Bay 22-yard line, 15 yards on that one. A quick snap. They are in shotgun. Is a pass to the right to Godwin for 6 yards. Penalty on the play. Ineligible man downfield. It is coming back.
Yeah. So when you look at Dallas's team, right? They lost to the Bucs first game of the season. They beat the Chargers by 3. Not a playoff team. They beat the mess out the Eagles, who is a playoff team, but division opponent, not that good. From what it looked like right now, 25-9. Okay? The Panthers, another bad team. The Giants, another bad team. The Patriots, another bad team. The Vikings, another bad team. None of them teams made the playoffs. The Broncos beat the mess out of the Cowboys. Then they beat the Falcons. Not another bad team, a team that doesn't make the playoffs. To the Chiefs, they lost. To the Raiders, they lost, which is not even a really good team. They beat the Saints, didn't make the playoffs. They beat us, didn't make the playoffs. They beat the Giants, didn't make the playoffs. They beat us, didn't make the playoffs. They lost to the Cardinals, didn't make the playoffs, but the Cardinals was trash this year. And so guess what? That shows you that Dallas wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying? If you go back,
saying they was fool's gold. They're fool's gold, basically.
Yes.
Fool's gold. This is all fool's gold. Is basically what you're saying.
Yes.
I mean, it looks like it. I can't argue with you right now. I mean, I can't put up no argument for Philly right now, the way they looking out there.
No, that was Dallas. That was Dallas. We're going to go to Philly.
Oh, that was
You know
Dallas.
what?
Oh my
That was
God.
Dallas. This gives my this makes my point right now with what I'm saying is that they were beating up on bad teams. Beating up on bad teams does not make you a good one. It
Yeah.
doesn't. I'm sorry. It does not make you a good team because you can beat a bad team. So this year, Eagles lost. The Eagles beat the Patriots, not a playoff team. Beat the Vikings, not a playoff team. They beat the Bucs, which is a playoff team, 25-11. But guess what the score is right now? 25-9. The opposite way. You get what I'm
I agree.
saying? The Commanders, not a playoff team. They beat the Rams, which was a playoff team. But guess what? To me, that's a good win. That's an okay win right there. The Jets, they lost to, not a playoff team. The Dolphins, they beat. They
That's
beat.
a good team.
That's a good team.
Where they beat them at?
So
In
in
Miami or
Philly, no, in Philly, in Philly at
Miami?
home.
Well, it's not the same team away as
Yeah,
they are at home.
in Philly. So
But that's still a good
when
team though. They're a good team.
yeah, they beat us, not a playoff team. They beat the Cowboys, which was a playoff team, but like I said, they cancel each other out because they're not playing good teams anyway. The Chiefs, they did beat, and that's a good team.
That's a good team.
So they beat three good teams out of their wins. Because you could look at then the Bills, they oh matter of fact, they did. They beat the Bills in
See, that's
overtime.
another good team. Yeah.
But they cheated. They cheated that game.
Okay.
They cheated that game. Everybody go back and look at the news reports about how egregious those calls was in that game.
I
So they
agree.
didn't
And that
beat
was
them
when it,
fair and
and it's not
square.
the same. That's not the same Bills team. Because they got rid of Dorsey after that. Dorsey is
But they
gone, the offensive coordinator. So this is
yeah, but
that's a
they didn't even beat them. This the thing. They didn't even beat them in Buffalo. They beat them in Philly at home. So okay,
yeah.
cool. You know what I'm saying? San Francisco, Molly whopped them 42-19.
Mm.
The Cowboys beat them 33-13. Seahawks beat them 2017. Seahawks ain't make the playoffs. Then they uh then you look at the Giants. They beat the Giants, not a playoff team. They lost to the Cardinals, trash. And then they lost again to the Giants. They not beating like I would say they got three good wins on good opponents this year. When you look at that, you don't and you could say four. No, I'm gonna say four wins, and one win has an asterisk on it. That is not. That's not somebody that I'm feeling like is a juggernaut. It's not
Well,
a
let me
juggernaut.
ask you this. Well, let me ask you this. If AJ Brown plays today, is it different?
It is different. I don't see
Oh my
them
goodness,
necessarily winning.
Philly messed up. Okay, so there was a 40-yard field goal that was good. Philly decided to go for it after that, the same way they did earlier in the 2 point, and did not get it. It was a pass to Devontae Smith, which they did not get it. Turnover on downs. Tampa Bay takes over. Philly gets nothing out of a drive where they were at the Tampa Bay 17-yard line.
I mean, I think they are who we thought they were. I'm just being real. They are who we thought they were from the
I,
beginning.
I think they should have took the points there because it's still 11:57 left in the fourth. I think you take the points there. Now you got you roughly a still got a two touchdown game, but it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to do those 2 point conversions.
I mean, but I'm gonna just be real. I don't see this as a team that was a threat to win the Super Bowl. I really feel like they had a good year last year, but like you've been saying, they lost so much in the offseason. They lost so much in the offseason that it was going to be hard to recover. Super hard to recover.
Yeah, the NFC East look like they're going to be done in the playoffs. No more NFC East teams are going to be left. So guess what? I'll be popping champagne tonight.
Hey, and you know what? You know,
Popping
want to know something funny?
champagne.
For everybody that always talk about the Redskins, right? My thing is that don't get me wrong. I don't want to lose every year. No, I don't want to lose. I want to win. I agree with that. So winning is important, even in the regular season. But to go to the playoffs, to have your hopes all up, and to get thumped in the first round, I'd rather go home. I'd rather not even go to the playoffs. For what? For what?
Brian Westbrook says just throw wide receiver screens. That's the answer. That's Brian Westbrook. He's chiming in.
Yeah, throw screens for what? Let's be real. Let's be real. You have to move the ball. You have to be able to run and pass the ball. And throwing screens ain't gonna get you that.
They are obliterating. They are obliterating the Eagles for going for it there, saying the Eagles. The Philly at it says at a Terry underscore H. The Philadelphia Eagles have taken 4 points off the board tonight. They're obliterating him because he went for it last time and didn't get it. They say sad day for the Eagles fans. Nina at CERBOAKEAKYE. Sad day for the Eagles indeed. Sad day for the Eagles.
Did they really think that they was gonna go out there? I mean, I know a lot of Philly fans did, but did they really think they was gonna go out there and do that to the Bucs? No, no. I feel
I
like
think it,
The Bucs did the NFC East a favor by exposing these boys right here.
and
I feel like
just
they
to let
did.
everybody know, this is Jason Kelsey's last game. I think he will retire after this game. It says that 30 for 30 that's been secretly following Kelsey in his final season is about to go crazy following the collapse of the Philadelphia Eagles this time.
Um, Kelsey got some tread left on the tires. It's just if he wants to do it or not.
Well, he's had it. They saying that he's had, and this is at Kelsey Wisner, SWISNER. I guess he's saying they have had a 30 for 30 that's been following him. ESPN has been following him around for his
Yeah, they
last.
have. They have. Actually, because they did a movie, Kelsey and Kelsey, which was follow both of the Kelseys around. And so after that, they're doing it like it looks like a farewell season. You know what I mean? It does. It does.
They said at Brooks in blessed. If the Eagles don't let Nick Sirianni go by the end of this season, I'll personally come do it myself.
Why?
I
Why are you
don't think
letting
he should.
Sirianni go?
I don't know. They just mad. They emotional right now, man.
I,
Emotion
hey,
speaking with
hey,
the
hey!
emotion.
I'll take Sirianni over what the fuck we had this year.
Yeah,
With our
one
age.
million percent. 1 million percent. Tampa Bay Bucks. Baker Mayfield short pass to Durham out to the Tampa Bay 35-yard line for 18 yards. Then you had a Baker Mayfield short pass to Godwin, who pushed out of bounds for 5 yards. Then Chase Edmonds up the middle for to the Tampa Bay 41 for 1 yard. Baker Mayfield passed to Otten again for 5 yards. Now that was on a 3rd and 4. They got the first down. Tampa Bay will continue their drive at the Tampa Bay 45-6 yard line. They're around approaching midfield. Still on their side of the field, but they are approaching midfield with a fresh set of downs. Jeffrey Lurie looks depleted. He looks worse than Jerry Jones.
Nah, man. Hey, look, man. Jerry had tears in his eyes, bruh. Tears in his eyes. I ain't seen no owner ever look like that after a loss. Son. I ain't gonna hold you.
Well, did you hear what Jerry said after the Redskin game? Did you hear that? I
No.
heard it. He said
What?
this is one of the best wins of his career. This team can make it all the way to the Super Bowl. And I mean, he was elated
Oh,
by that win. This was the best. He said, I've never felt better than this. This is one of the best feelings I've ever had. I bet he did because he beat us 83-20. That's why I was saying to Redskin fans, y'all should be mad. Y'all should be pissed. Whether they do something or not, we ain't supposed to lose to them like that.
I think that if this is proof that we shouldn't have lost to them like that because what happened when they went up in
Right,
when they went up against the Packers,
right.
you know?
So Tampa Bay on the play, they are at their 46-yard line. Chase Edmonds to the left for no gain. Jalen Carter with the tackle. But on that one, you had an offensive holding, which pushes Tampa Bay back to their own 36-yard line. Baker Mayfield deep pass to the right. to Mike Evans, 19 yards, out to the Philly 45-yard line, 19. Darius Slay on the tackle. So they have a fresh set of downs deep. Well, not deep. They are in not field goal range, but they are in Philadelphia territory, right beyond midfield.
In striking distance. We're gonna call it striking
Yes,
distance.
yes, man. Mike
Come
Evans
on,
finally
man.
showed.
Come on, Come on, Godwin. 2 more catches, man. 2 more catches, Godwin. Go ahead, win me my bet. Go ahead, win me my bet, Godwin.
Rashad White to the left side with a catch to the Philly 37-yard line for 8 yards. Morrow with the tackle. They have a fresh set of downs at the Philadelphia 37-yard line. If they score here, they will put it out of reach. Mike Evans has had 6 targets, 2 receptions, 40 yards in this one. So what do y'all feel? Okay, so now that we think the matchup is going to be what it is going to be, it looks like Philly's not going to be able to come back in this one. Tampa Bay will be moving on. How do y'all feel about Tampa Bay in San Francisco?
Oh, San Francisco. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So San Francisco basically etched themselves into the NFC Championship game. I'm gonna tell y'all what's something interesting. On some of the gambling sites, they already have Baltimore and San Francisco. They're already taking bets for Baltimore and San Francisco in the Super Bowl on some of the sites.
I mean, yeah, because that's number one. They the number one. Baltimore looked very, very good at the end of the year. I mean, they looked good all year, but at the end of the year, they came on really strong. Um, the way that they beat San Francisco in itself is something to talk about. You know what I mean? Um, and I don't see anybody in the AFC that they can't beat. Not saying that they will beat, but that they can't beat. You know, I'm looking at Tampa Bay and saying, man, if Tampa Bay plays San Francisco, which they might, I don't see them beating them. I'm looking at Tampa Bay. I'm looking at Green Bay kind of the same way. If they play San Francisco, I don't see them beating them. Detroit, I think, has a chance, but not a very big one. You know, but the AFC is different. I feel like the people that's left over on the AFC, and no offense to the Texans because they just a new team, and I'm not discrediting them. They've had a hell of a year, but I don't see them as a juggernaut. But the other 3 teams are juggernauts. You know what I mean? Like the Bills are juggernauts. Let's be real. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts if the Bills are juggernauts. The Bills are juggernauts. The Chiefs are Super Bowl defending champions, so of course they juggernauts, and Pat got 2 already. You know,
Absolutely.
and the 2-time MVP led Baltimore Ravens are juggernauts. You know, shout out to my man Lamar for winning his second MVP.
You had another pass to Mike Evans on a 2nd and 9. They caught the ball to the gone down to the Philly 28-yard line. You got a 3rd and 1 deep in Philly territory at the 28-yard line. Philadelphia uses their second timeout
You run the
on this
ball.
one.
You run the ball.
Yeah.
Third and
Philly looks
one.
depleted. Philly looks
Yeah.
depleted.
I mean
Philly looks depleted.
that safety essentially ended the game, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. One guy, the Jimmy Dean's breakfast sausage, on Twitter says, drink pee and get smashed and cry, Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
And I'm paraphrasing. I am paraphrasing.
He told him to drink piss.
Yeah. Pretty heated.
Yeah, that's
One
tough right
guy,
there.
one guy got the warm shot meme dancing when he with Tampa Bay. He got the warm shot meme out there dancing. This is funny. This is pretty funny.
Shout out to my man Sleep Dog, to my homie Sleep. Shout out to my other homie Lino, because they are Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, man. And
Yeah, they are.
honestly, they went through the rough stages of Tampa Bay to the glory days of Tom Brady, and now they riding high right now. I know it. I know it. Shout out to them, man.
It
That's
is
what
a Rashad Wright a run up the middle gives them a first down. It is first and
yeah.
10 at the Philly 26-yard line. Philly uses their last timeout. Why is Philly using all their timeouts? It's 7
Because
minutes left in the game.
they're hoping to get the ball back. and then score fast, and then maybe
But
do an onside.
I don't understand using your timeouts here. It's just asinine. I don't know what they're trying to
Well,
do
not
here.
not all of your timeouts. I can understand taking the time out of that 3rd and 1 because potentially you can get them to force them into a 4th and 1. I do get that. I don't get after them getting the first down while you would call a timeout. That just kind of doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, what are y'all trying to do here? What are y'all trying to do here?
Yeah, the 3rd and 1 timeout, I don't mind. I think that that's a good timeout. You know what I mean? But if you're doing it on 1st down, there's no point. There's no point of doing that. You know what I mean? Because they come out, they run the ball, they could just take that same time off the clock. They
Yeah,
don't have to
and
get any yards. They can literally
they're
take the same time off the clock.
Yeah. Tampa Bay's clocking it right now. You had to run up the middle to Rashad White to the 22-yard line for 4 yards, tackled by Hassan Reddick. Then you had another second run by Rashad White on the right side to the Philly 23 for 1 yard. Brandon Graham also on the tackle. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are deep in Philly territory right now.
Well, if I was Tampa, I'm gonna be real. If I was Tampa, I wouldn't have tried to clock it. I get what they're doing, but they're up 25-9. You know what I mean? A couple possessions. A touchdown puts this way out of reach. A field goal puts it out of reach as well, but a touchdown really kills them. It kills them. It kills everything in them. They'll get the ball back almost immediately. I think that it's the biggest mistake that they can do is not take this opportunity.
I agree.
Put them away. One thing
Darius
that
Slay is down. Darius Slay is down, and he is wincing bad. Darius Slay is down
one
on
thing
the.
that I learned from back in the day, and of course we love to bring up redskin situations, right? Back in the day, if you remember that Dallas Redskin game with Santana Moss and Mark
Yes,
Brunell,
yes.
this is why you do not leave a team around because guess what? Two touchdowns can happen really fast in the right situation. So you go ahead and you step on their neck, you kill them where you got the chance.
Well, they don't have. If Darius Slay goes out this game, which it looks like he is, I don't see why you do not go for the juggernaut here. I mean, their secondary has been their Achilles heels all season long,
Yeah.
especially without Gardner Johnson and some of the guys who's left. So I think you really don't have a choice. I mean, in my opinion, that's what I would do: is really attack them in the secondary without them there and really put them out of their misery.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I can agree. I can agree 1,000,000%.
it says what WTH happened to the Philadelphia Eagles? Question mark. Nearly had the NFC East wrapped up, but then lost it after losing and losing and losing, and now losing in the playoffs again to the lowly Bucs. I don't think the
Well,
Bucs are lowly.
I mean, the record shows a 9-18. So people are going to look at that record and say Philly is better, straight up. With Philly being an 11-win team, if I'm not mistaken, um, that's two games winning over their opponent, and meaning you should not be losing to this opponent. And that's kind of how people look at it. People look at the regular season. Me personally, when I look at the regular season, I always look at the level of competition. And I feel like Philly, they did have a playoff schedule, so they did play some good teams. And honestly, they beat a couple of those good teams. They beat up on the bad ones. They beat the good ones. They're not even beat up on the bad ones. Some of the bad teams beat Philly. Let's be real. Without those calls, the Washington beats Philly. You know what I mean? Without the Giants beat Philly, the Cardinals beat Philly. Philly wasn't a juggernaut like people like to say they are. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Well, let me say this: Tampa Bay got hot at the right moment. Their last 6, 7 games, they are 6-1. The only team they've lost to has been a division loss to the Saints. But other than that, this looks like a bit of an injury. Slay might come back, but it does look like a bit of an injury. It's a back injury for Slay. Is he still on the field? Let's see. Let's see. But however, to your point from earlier, I mean from yesterday actually, Tampa Bay got hot. Tampa Bay got hot at the end of the season, and I don't think anybody recognized that. Slay's been carried out on a stretcher. They have to pull the stretch out. He's still down. They had to bring the stretch out for him.
That is not
He,
good. Not a
yeah,
good sign.
they had to
I,
bring the stretch out for him.
I really think Darius Slay is a decent player, not the best player or whatever, but I like it. I like him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to him, and well wishes to him and his family, because I never like seeing a stretcher come out for a player. I never like it. I'm a football fan and a football fan first. So initially, you know, we all want to see the best players play, and we want to see those players be healthy.
Let me say this: that game against San Francisco might not be just a San Francisco's just going to win that game. Tampa Bay can beat them, and I'm gonna say it on air right now, live and direct. Y'all heard it here first. Tampa Bay can beat San Francisco. Tampa
Well,
Bay can beat
yeah.
that
Uh,
game plan they had today was a really good game plan, defensively especially. A Todd Bowles defense who used to play. Don't forget about it. Todd Bowles was the coach of the Arizona Cardinals and has seen that San Francisco defense. I mean offense, and seen a lot of what they like to do. And he's been up there playing in that he was in that division at one point in time.
but he didn't play against them while they have Christian McCaffrey,
No, he didn't.
and
But
that
they
is
got
a
a good front though. They got
no
Barrett.
no 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 no.
They got
Listen,
Devontae Davis.
listen,
That defense is
listen, bro.
legit.
I'm not knocking them. Listen, because what I was about to say is they had a Raheem Moses.
Touchdown! Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin.
Yes,
Chris Godwin with the 23-yard touchdown catch.
I need him to get one more catch though, just one more.
They got the bag heads. The bag heads just came out. That was a 12-play, 83-yard touchdown drive with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. They are pouring it on, up 31-9 against Philly. This might be worse than the Dodgers loss.
It is. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why it's worse than the Dallas loss. I'm gonna tell you why. Because they are the defending NFC East, NFC champs. They're the
True.
defending
That's true.
NFC champs, and you go out there and lay a egg,
That's a
and get beat 30. You'll get beat 32-9. You are getting slaughtered.
yeah, yeah.
You are getting slaughtered.
This is bad. I mean,
Bad.
the guy couldn't. I mean, I don't know what 29 was doing. I mean, Maddox, he just got. I mean, I don't know what type of defense that was on Godwin. I have no idea
You are
what type
getting
of defense that
slaughtered.
was.
I definitely need Chris Godwin to get one more catch, though, man.
Man, shout out to Todd Bowles, man. Todd Bowles is a Redskin. People don't know that Todd Bowles used to play for the Redskins. He was in that secondary. He won 2 Super Bowls with us. He was in that secondary with Darryl Green and Martin Mayhew. So shout out to Todd Bowles, man. He's always going to be a Redskin around these parts. Let me get Vito back on in here, man.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, they so lucky my phone died. Oh my phone. Oh, they so lucky my phone died. Don't think that I'm just coming back because they just now coming back. I've been here the whole time. I've been watching the whole jump.
Yo.
Bruh. I was about to touch on the same thing you said with Todd Bowles. Just recognize that everybody that went down this weekend had something to do with our staff.
Yes.
I just,
Yes.
It's unfortunate we don't have those coaches, but at the same time, I just wanted people to know that those staffs are part of whooping up on the NFC East, and we're happy for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We to say that basically the NFC East all had the same year.
Yeah. Yeah.
We essentially all had the same year. Everybody's record is the same, just draft capital. Now, bro, this is what I was saying. That now because of what is happening right now, it's making some of what I was saying look okay. All right, draft positioning is pretty good when you go out in the first round, bro. Like, it's no point in winning that many games.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
what's this make you like pick 19, 20, 22, 24, something like that?
Yeah. Jalen Hurts has gotten sacked. He got sacked again. This is bad, man. This is bad. They need to take Hurts out of there before he get hurt.
What you think AJ Brown at home saying right now?
Laughing. He gonna ask for a ton of money whenever his contract come up. You need to
And hold on,
hurt.
listen,
You need to
and
pay me
that
more than
and
Hurts.
that's what I said is that's what I said. Everybody in our division is going through. The only team not going through the same thing, even though they just spent their money on Daniel Jones, is the Giants. Other than that, everybody's got a lot of people that they got to figure out: are they going to bring them back, or are they going to let some of their better players or their veterans go to other teams around the league that can use those players right now for their pushes? And are the Cowboys and are the Eagles getting ready to start falling back?
Mm.
That's a legitimate question based on the fact that these guys got big players and big contracts that they have to renew because this is the basis of what those teams are right now. Those teams haven't been losing, so they can't just restart like that. I don't see teams that have winning records restarting. I never see that. I never see them like overhauling their roster the very next year. Even with a bad playoff run, a coach will get fired, maybe one player changes here and there, but you don't reflip a whole roster. We got draft positioning.
Dallas
Those
Goddard
guys,
just went down. Dallas Goddard just went
yep.
down on it with an injury.
Those guys got they got high draft. Now they got late draft picks, and they're not picking that one player that they need to get to the next level. Maybe they're thinking that, but I think these guys have more problems than that.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what I've been saying the whole
Pass
time.
interference offense on Dallas Goddard when on the same play he gets hurt. He doesn't even get the catch because he gets a pass
Beating up
interference
on,
call.
I've been saying this to a lot of people recently. Being a team that beats up, being a team that beats up on bad teams does not make you a good one. You have to consistently beat the good teams and beat not necessarily beat them convincingly, but beat them enough to know that you're a good team. Not
Mm-hmm.
ease up on some calls, not you know what I mean? And the Eagles have been getting favorable calls throughout the whole year. Baker
Dallas,
Mayfield got 337 right now.
uh,
337.
No picks.
No picks, three
yeah.
touchdowns.
But what did we say
That,
before the game? He's having his best season.
He
And I'm
is.
gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell y'all this. They can beat San Francisco. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. Tampa Bay, from what I'm seeing, that defense with them linebackers and that front seven, San Francisco gonna have a time on their hands beating them. This ain't gonna be a walk in the cake for them. I know people think it is. No,
What
no,
I
no.
what I will say is that maybe the Browns have to continue saying that they may have bad luck because since he's been with the Buccaneers,
Yeah,
even when he was with the Rams, he didn't play bad.
nah, he sure didn't.
that's how he got the job with
Right.
He
Tampa
played
You're
good
right.
Bay.
for
You're
them.
right.
The
You're right.
last time, the
You're right.
last time the Browns went to the playoffs, guess who took them there? Baker Mayfield. They got rid of him. They got rid. Remember, Greg Williams came in as the intern coach. They
Mm-hmm.
got rid of Greg Williams,
Yeah.
and this is what happened. Greg Williams had that boy. He had him as the starting quarterback. Shout out to Baker Mayfield, man. I'm real happy for him too. I'm gonna be honest. It's 4th and 12.
Hey, bro, what
They
pick did
went
he get
for
picked, bro?
who? Baker Mayfield
What?
6. He got picked 6 overall. 6 overall.
He was the first quarterback, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the first quarterback off the board that year. Yep. Yep.
I'm just saying that position means a lot to team and not building because again he's traded from his original team. But even for RG3, like those players picked in those spots are looked as franchise changing pieces. Even that pick, remember I said with the Eagles how they traded that pick and got picks later on. Like the having that pick allows for you to have a say so with what you can do moving forward, especially if you got the right coach.
That's where I'm talking about. Them guys, like, let's be clear. We gave a lot of credit to let Matt LaFleur last night. A lot of credit. Equal credit goes to Todd Bowles tonight, man. Especially that
Yes,
defense.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
I
yes,
mean,
yes, yes.
man, that game plan they came in there with today, masterful, and they are
And
hot.
they're not just running the ball. Baker Mayfield's 337 is to be respected. He definitely
Yeah.
showed out, no turnovers, 3 touchdowns. He solo because
Sorry,
the
they
Eagles only
played
got
that.
9 points.
No. Let me back up the train. They played Detroit.
The
Back
Bucks.
this train up. The Bucks play Detroit, and you'll have Green Bay, you'll have Green Bay play San Francisco.
Yeah. Okay. That's gonna be all on the quarterbacks.
I
So
believe the Bucs are going to beat Detroit.
huh?
I believe the Bucs are going to beat Detroit.
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm a,
I
I'm,
believe the Bucs are going to
I'm
beat Detroit.
I don't know about that. If I had the Bucks beating it, well, you know what? Before
I
I jump and say that, let me say that the Bucks do have secondary.
yes,
They do have a secondary.
yes.
Um, the one thing I will say is that those linebackers and stuff gonna have to play. They're gonna
They
have to
all,
play.
but I mean, we talk about Levante David and them boys out. They got linebackers out there.
Detroit got a Ben Johnson has a better play calling than what the Eagles have shown tonight.
I agree with that.
I'm not saying
I agree with that
all
too.
together. I'm just saying tonight what the Eagles have shown, the Detroit line has a better game plan than that. I think, as I said, even with us playing the Eagles, without AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts does not look unstoppable. He looks very manageable without a big play receiver. And Devontae Smith, don't take nothing from the Eagles. He did his thing. He
He did his
by
thing.
himself
Yes,
has stood up
yes.
to this challenge.
Yeah.
But he's not AJ Brown. And that goes to say a lot for AJ Brown. Like I'm really giving AJ Brown his flowers right now and saying that he is really that much of a difference maker. And I can understand. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he should have ever let the ego get in front of the goal. The goal got to be to win another Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? But I can understand. This is what media and what money does. This is why it's not supposed to be the most important thing. It's never the most important thing in the world. People, relationships, and even Jalen Hurts saying, you know what, bro, that's the media. Like, reassure him that, hey, I'm still the same person that was throwing you the passes before. It's just the media. It's the pictures that they paint. We don't got nothing to do with that unless they focus on the game. But as soon as that became a thing, and I think the media helped play a part in it. Like I said, they did I watched they did a special on AJ Brown on Fox right before one of their games. It was about his daughter and about his cleats being different colors, and that his daughter has to, mind you, listen what a black man has to say. Excuse me, a black father at that. I have to have on different color cleats for my daughter to identify who I am on the field. Not
Mm,
my number, but my cleats, so she can identify who I am on the field. All right,
right.
cool. I have the quarterback who's been told by everybody else that he's the best thing smoking that Philadelphia has ever seen. And without me on this team, they don't have a ring.
Mm, mm.
Excuse
He
me. Yeah.
said that. He said that in the interview.
No, he didn't say they don't have a ring. I'm saying that they don't have a ring,
Oh,
but he
okay.
did say that basically like I'm this how my daughter got to see me by me wearing colorful cleats. Jalen
Mm,
Hurts doesn't have to do that. Everybody knows who Jalen Hurts is,
that's
not just
real.
because he's the quarterback, but because of how much media he's getting attention. It's other people on the team that won that Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts wasn't the only player playing that game. And again, don't get me wrong, the quarterback is always going to get that extra special love because he's the leader of your team. So I understand that. But that's why I brought up T.O. and McNabb, because it reminded me of that where T.O. clearly 100% is the best player on that Eagles team at that time. McNabb's the quarterback, though, so he's still going to get a certain kind of love, even though T.O. is probably better than everybody in the NFL at that point when he was with the Eagles.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Tampa Bay might go into Detroit and upset them, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and I'm not
I
saying
think
this is going to do. I'm not going. I'm not giving. This is not an official prediction. This is just me looking at the onset, looking at both teams. Tampa
that's
Bay ain't
hard
no
to say.
slouches, man. They hot right now. They are hot. They've won. They won the last 7 out of the last eight games. They are hot right now. This
I,
Tampa Bay team is dangerous. Sorry to say it. Even without Tom Brady, these guys are dangerous, man.
no, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. First of all, to beat the Eagles this bad would suggest that. But I only feel different because I never thought that the Eagles were this good. I'm
That's
sorry.
real.
They're 11 wins. I told everybody week 4 or 5. We can go back to our nature show for anybody that follows us. Uptown Vito personally said, "Hey, I noticed something, guys. These guys' secondary is not it. Baker Mayfield just threw for 337 and 3 touchdowns. My words exactly. Their secondary is not going to hold up. I,
Yeah,
I'm,
they have
I'm
a
I'm I'm
30th ranked.
clearly right.
Yeah, they have a 30th ranked secondary.
They got the worst secondary in the league. This game, and remember what I said yesterday, that these games not going to be close. The Detroit and the Rams game was close. via maybe Matt Stafford's relationship, the Rams pulling off some stuff that I never seen before, and that being a similar in teams. Like both of those teams are evenly matched. Other than that, everybody's been blown out. Everybody's been blown out. Them point spreads ain't got nothing to do with the playoffs. It's who's the better team and who actually wants it, and not who's better because of the record, but who's the better team. Like you said, 7 games in a row, which means that they were 2-8. To win
Yeah.
7 games in a row is 9-8. That means 2-8. They went from a team nobody was talking about to one of the hottest teams in the league. That's dangerous in the playoffs. So I got to give you respect on that to say that they have a chance. I'm not going to say they don't have a chance at all because nobody that hot gets stopped. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times anybody going in that hot usually makes it all the way, and that's no cap. And they beat the reigning champions, so they have the most to talk. They got the most trash to talk.
Shout out to Jason Kelsey, man. This is his last game. He will be retiring after this game. Actually the Bucs and the Detroit Lions already played early in the season. Detroit beat them 20-6. Baker Mayfield was 19 for 37, 206, and 1 interception, no touchdowns. Rashad White, 7 carries, 26 yards in that game. Jared Goff had 30 for 44, 353, 2 touchdowns. He has played. Played against that Todd Bowles defense plenty because they were in the same division when they were there together. They were definitely in the division together, Golf and Bowles. So they've seen each other tons of times. Reynolds had 10 carries for 15 yards. They really shut the run down there. Armand St. Brown in that first game with Detroit and Tampa Bay, he had 12 receptions for 124 yards. So really Tampa Bay's defense played good. They held Detroit to 20 points. But their offense did not show up, which I do not think is going to be the case here because Baker Mayfield is also hot as fish grease too.
Yeah, I think they got things figured out right now.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a lot of people, and not only that, I believe the money. It's gonna be a lot of money with Detroit. It's gonna be a lot of money with Detroit,
Can you
man.
blame them though? Can you blame them though? I think that's what again. That might be the last game played again because that might be the game of the week next week.
Yes, yes, yes.
The
I don't
Bucs
know
and the
though.
Lions might be more anticipated than any other game. Maybe the
LaFleur,
Ravens.
LaFleur going back against Kyle for another one.
That's gonna be
Another one.
interesting. That's gonna be interesting. But I almost want to say that the game against the Lions and the Bucs might be the one for the Super Bowl. Like whoever wins that might be going to the Super Bowl.
Think so?
Bro, the Lions have a lot of momentum, bro. I'm trying. They don't have no Super Bowls at all. And remember the run that the Eagles had when the Eagles got to their Super Bowl. To me it just looks like they have all the pieces. Again, if the coach is going to leave and stuff like that and go somewhere else, that's the best way for them to go on top. If they get it right all the way through, that remember I said that's the only way that it makes sense that any coaches leave Detroit staff is if they win a ring. If they don't win a ring, I feel like they broke it up too soon. If they win a ring, then I feel like you leave some of the intangibles and you leave a lot of players on that field that don't go anywhere that kind of give you that same stability of winning and being able to get back to the playoffs and stuff like that. If you leave too soon, I'm with Point. I'm just not sure if they've proven it long enough. They got one playoff win, which is good. I can't say that, but you owe that city much more. Detroit in the whole being one of the number one black cities where we had businesses and was the population was number one for a long time. That city is failing, and it's worse than Baltimore is for anybody that's familiar with this area. And they need it. I'm not even gonna hold you. They need it, just like Buffalo needs it. Like
That's
the city of Detroit really needs it, and I don't feel sorry for them. They've earned everything that I'm giving them this year, as far as how I feel like they playing. They got a test to go through, but if they can beat the Bucs again in the playoffs, the way that the Bucs just handled the champions, they got an argument going into the championship game, and the
And to
Eagles
your
got a
point,
lot.
let me stop you. To your
But
point, he was a number one overall pick. Cleveland got him number one overall.
Baker Mayfield, right?
Yeah, Mayfield was number one overall.
Yeah. Them top Joe Burrows, you know what I'm saying? Joe Burrows the same year Chase came out. Joe Burrows goes to the Super Bowl. Chase, even for him being the pick that he was, won defensive rookie of the year. Don't get me wrong, we can go through the list of draft picks. There's plenty of busts that have been picked in the top 5, but I'm just saying for the teams that have gone to the Super Bowl consistently in the last 5-10 years have had somebody that's been a staple pick or a piece that somebody else went to go get that was that type of talent that you got to have in the room, either because they've been through the media stuff, what they've gone through in the locker room. They've got the money already, so now they can present themselves with just being the experience to other young players, just different things. The scenarios I feel like they've gone through, or abilities that they bring to teams that need to have that type of championship caliber.
This was ugly. This
Yes,
was ugly.
yes,
I'm
but
not
it was
gonna.
beautiful. It was beautiful. It was Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
So
we know that. I mean, it was beautiful for us, of course. You know what I'm saying?
this is the best football weekend the Redskins could ask for.
Yes, yes,
Outside of
yes,
being there ourselves and going and winning.
yes. Because I mean, over the last few
Agreed.
years,
Agreed.
we've watched Philly go to the Super Bowl twice. We've watched the Giants go to the Super Bowl twice. Only people that ain't do nothing is the Cowboys, which I'm not about to complain about that either. However, it was time for this. It was time for this, and I'm glad that we can relax now, Redskin fans. The Philly fans are quiet. They got obliterated. Dallas got obliterated. It's just not just beat. They got beat down.
Right, and both teams were beat bad. To be honest,
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
told somebody today, I was talking to a Cowboy fan today. 48-32 is not the final score. 48-17 was the final score of that game. Nobody cared after that. There were people leaving the game at 48-17, which means that nobody that went home cared about the final score. That BS comeback, and nobody cared about that.
Yeah, no, you get no credit for that.
That
I
is
agree.
not a comeback. When you when dudes, right? When you consider yourself coming back, right? You consider yourself potentially winning the game. Okay, that was
That
not a
was Mike
comeback.
McCarthy trying to save his job.
That's exactly what that was. That was a scoreboard thing. You know, a Vegas thing. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. This was so. What do y'all feel? Okay, we got the matchups. All the matchups are in. The final four is there for both sides, for the AFC and for the NFC. In the final four, you got Green Bay. They will be traveling to San Francisco to face the number one seed in all of we're not in all of the league, but number one seed in the NFC, all of the NFC, and the San Francisco 49ers. And then you have the Detroit Lions, who will be facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do y'all got on the NFC side? What do y'all see in these matchups?
Going Detroit, San Francisco.
uh I'm with V on this one. I'm gonna go Detroit, San Francisco, but I will say this. Um I gotta agree with Roe a bit on Tampa Bay being a dark horse in this situation.
Both of them are. The
Um
Packers and the Bucks are. But
Yeah,
I'm
I,
just go
I
with my
don't
first picks.
I'm not looking at the pack honestly, I'm not looking like the pack just my opinion. I'm not looking at the Packers like they about to go in there and beat San Francisco. And maybe I'm gonna have to eat these words next week. I do think they're going to be relatively competitive, but I think San Francisco is going to go and kind of dominate that game. You know what I mean?
I
If we
don't
can,
think they dominate. That's just me.
I'm gonna just be real. I'm just calling it how I see it. If we remember the oncoming of Colin Kaepernick, right? That was a San Francisco Green Bay game. And Kaepernick, they ran that read option. Kaepernick took the ball up like 40 yards. I could be wrong, but it was a long run. Let's say that. And they pretty much dominated that game. And I see that potentially happening again. Um, I think Love is going to have a good game. He's going to show that it wasn't a fluke against the Cowboys. But I think San Francisco a lot. I think San Francisco just too much. That front line is just way too much. That I just think they too much. Um, and so I don't see them being a threat to beating San Francisco. My opinion.
Okay.
I want to change my pick. I want to change my pick. I want to go Detroit and I want to go Packers. And my reason for picking the Packers, I'll save until everybody finishes because it's not what everybody thinks.
Right. Okay. So I'm careful with LaFleur, man. I'm careful with LaFleur. So let me say I'm not gonna make my official picks, but just from what I say, I'll make those later in the week. On the show, on the
Now
everyday
we can
podcast.
change later. We can change later.
Yeah, we
What
can
you think
change
right
later.
now?
Okay.
Yeah,
Right now,
this right now.
Right now, I would take. I'm going to take Green Bay, and I'm going to take probably Detroit because I think that that's the best matchup. For the in Detroit, there'll be Detroit Green Bay NFC Championship game. I think that's the most exciting matchup. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Brock Purdy. I'm not sure that 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 Brock Purdy will be able to take them to another NFC Championship game. I don't know if I see that, and I do think the one of these number one seeds are going to lose. I do not think both of these number one seeds are going to end up in the Super Bowl like last year. I don't think we'll have a repeat of that. I do think one of them loses, and I do think it's probably going to be San Francisco because than they're more vulnerable than the Ravens, you know. So I don't see the Ravens losing. But right now, if I had to pick one, I think I'll take Green Bay, and then I'll take Detroit, and I think that'll be the NFC Championship game. Just right now. That's just for right now. No one said just for right now. You know, even though I say I think Tampa Bay is a threat, I'm still going to think about. I'm thinking about the NFL at this point. I'm thinking about what would be the most attractive matchups for them.
What you think, Big Son?
So,
I'm thinking Green Bay and the Buccaneers,
okay.
NFC
Looking at two
Championship.
upsets.
Yeah.
He looking at two upsets.
Uh huh.
Two 9-8 teams playing for the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What's your reason?
Well, my reason with Green Bay is just like this past week, people slept on them, and we know that Jordan Love can ball, but will Brock Purdy be able to keep up with him in a shootout? I don't think so. Not in the shootout. If they up, it's a different story. But in the shootout, I don't think he can keep up with Jordan Love. The Bucks, I think the Bucks gonna win simply because if the Lions pull that crap they pulled on Saturday, they can hang it up. Watching Baker Mayfield tonight, get it in. They can hang it up. They do anything near what they did and almost lost that game, won it by 1 point. They're gonna be home watching the NFC Championship, Green Bay and the Buccaneers.
All right, my reason for picking the Packers is because I used to coach football. Everybody know that, and I just believe you do not reward laziness. And I don't think, just personally, and maybe I'm biased, maybe it's the way I think about football. I don't think that Chase is going to be rewarded with a Super Bowl because the kid is lazy. I don't know if it's based on the injury or whatever like that, but I think Aaron Jones can have another good game against the 49ers if they run to Chase's side. For the fact that once he gets tired, they're not going to be able to they're not going to be able to contain or just switch their defense to just try to protect him. They're going to have to take him out. And I think once you take him out, you start to kind of play with that line a little bit differently in their rotations. And I think that Green Bay can affect them like that. Jordan Love was really, really good on the play actions. Some of those passes hung in the air a little too long for my liking, but at the same token, weather should be fine. It should be in California. It shouldn't be too cold where he can't play. It may actually be in better weather conditions for the Packers, to be honest, because it will be cooler, and they'll be outside. And there are going to be some Packer fans in the stands in San Francisco. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, you know what I'm saying? To me, I don't really feel like that's going to be a a threatening environment where they can't, you know what I'm saying, at least run their game plan. Man, LaFleur is used to winning 12 to 14 games a season. So having 9 wins, 10 now that they won a playoff game, going on a little run right here doesn't seem very hard for me to believe that he could pull this game off. There's going to be tons, and I mean tons of money on
Yeah.
San Francisco and the Baltimore Ravens next week. So to pick one or the other, I would have to go with the one that's dominant on both sides. I do think that the 49ers are dominant on offense, but I am not sure how good Brock Purdy is in the playoffs. The playoffs mean a lot. Remember, I said that my biggest thing was that some of these top round picks, everybody's not Tom Brady, and trying to repeat that story of who Tom Brady was from that late round pick and he being the hero, that's not going to be the next guy's story that's going to have 5 or 6 Super Bowls in this league.
So I want to play devil's advocate here because I hear a whole bunch of Green Bay, Green Bay, Green Bay. I have we forgotten who San Francisco actually does have on their offense?
No,
Who who
Kittle,
on the
Kittle,
Packers
McCaffrey, McCaffrey,
defense is going to stop Debo Samuels? Who?
Jair Alexander.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Come
He
on,
looked pretty
bruh.
good. He looked pretty good against CD Lamb.
I
CD
think,
goddamn Lamb ain't no
Hold
Debo,
up, hold up, hold up. What? Hey,
bruh.
Vito, what them numbers look like?
CD, no, no, no. We're not talking
now
numbers.
CD
We're
is
not.
not the same
We're
physical
not
body
talking
as
numbers.
Debo Samuels. Physical
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. We're
specimen,
not talking
physical
numbers.
spe- physical
There we
specimen.
go.
Debo's a different
V,
specimen.
hey,
I,
hey,
I
I
V,
do
hey,
think
V,
understand
CD
that.
hey,
Lamb
V,
run better routes than Debo.
V,
If you
hey,
But
ask
V.
me,
I'm
So
talking about
what?
trying to tackle him though. Trying to
Trying
tackle
to
Debo
tackle
is a
him
thing.
exactly. Hey, V, you took the words out of my mouth when you said physical specimen. CD
I don't
Lamb ain't
know.
no physical specimen. He's a good route runner. He's a Deshaun Jackson. Okay,
I
okay,
agree.
okay. So that's great. That is great. Debo Samuel is a whole different animal. He's a Shannon Sharp. You know what I mean? He's somebody that not only is he fast, but you gotta tackle him. You
But I
gotta
also
tackle him
you also got to think about the fact that the Packers are going to be able to get pressure on Purdy.
Yeah.
from
You know what I'm
from the
saying?
from the right side, not the left.
What you talking about? Because of Trent? Trent got
Yeah,
to go against Preston Smith, bro. Preston
Oh
Smith.
yeah, they used to go
So you
against
think
each other
Preston
in
Smith is
practice.
not going to get no pressure on
Yeah,
Brock
they used
Purdy?
to go each other against practice
no,
against in practice.
absolutely, absolutely not.
You are
No, he's on the
crazy,
opposite
bro.
side. No, Preston Smith on the opposite side. Come to think about it, he's on the opposite
Preston,
side
no,
from.
Preston is on that side too.
Yeah, they switch him out. They switch him
Okay,
out.
Nah, he on Trent Williams' side. He was playing on that side the other day, the other
No,
night.
okay.
That's what I'm
they do
saying,
switch
bro.
him
They're gonna
out.
be going against each other.
I've seen the Packers. I've seen the Packers switch him out. So I will say
And,
that.
and and guess what? We wasn't even talking about Preston that much last game because the guy on the other side was getting
Yeah,
busy.
yeah,
That
he
now
was.
that's what I'm saying. On that right side, you may have something to talk about. Yes, I can agree with that. But on that left side, honestly, Trent in the playoffs, nothing coming.
And
Nothing coming.
I believe they can stop Christian McCaffrey from getting 100 yards on the ground. And if you can
Yeah.
do that, then that means that you turn them into a passing team. I
That
believe
is
that you're now going to have a shootout between LaFleur and Kyle as far as how they handle running offenses against each other. And again, we're going to probably look at one of these weekends and say that this is a master class because I think it's going to come down to late game decisions. And Jordan Love is a high pick, not just because he just was a high pick because they ain't had no choice. He was a high draft pick. He wasn't a fifth round pick coming in. And I'm not taking nothing away from Purdy and saying he didn't work his way up. But I personally feel like Purdy was a scapegoat and just so happened to be on a good team and didn't make no mistakes and made some plays. That is cool. He ain't the
I,
same beast. That's first of all, his numbers aren't nowhere near the Strouds or the Loves of this year in terms of efficiency and production. On top of that, turnover ratio with the touchdowns. So that goes to also say that even with the weapons that he has, he's had games where he's made mistakes. And these young guys right now, even in the playoffs, even though just one game, haven't made these mistakes, and they have a game on their shoulders that they're riding into where San Francisco was just at home chilling.
That's another thing. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I just think that Jordan Love is playing better than Brock Purdy right now. Jordan Love, again, I gave you the stat: 20 over the last 9 games,
Yeah.
20 touchdowns and one interception.
no, I give it. Listen, I give it to Jordan Love. Jordan Love is balling. I think the Packers are balling. I think the Packers stand a better chance against the other three teams that's left. I just think that, in my opinion, and I'm gonna be real, it's not just about Brock Purdy. See, you got to stop Christian McCaffrey. You got to stop Debo Samuels. Still forgetting that they got George Kittle, who didn't have a great year this year, but still was an All Pro. You
True.
know, you still got to stop Brandon Ayuk. You know, they got a mob on that offensive side. And in my opinion, anytime they want to run, they can run to that left side and get some yards. You know, so
I agree.
when I
Well, I
look
think
at
that was the one thing that was disrupted with the
Juggernaut,
Cowboys. I think that's the one thing that was disrupted that we didn't talk about that much in the Cowboys Packers game. And yeah, they were down, but they never were able to really establish the running game like that. And they wasn't down that much that they couldn't try to run. They weren't able to even really get it off like that against the Packers. And that was odd when they were again something that they used. They had 1,000 yard back this year.
I mean,
Let
we
me.
all know the Dallas took their running game took a back seat without Zeke this year. I mean,
Yeah.
who's saying that their running game was a top tier running game? You know, the reason why Pollard looked so good is because he had Zeke. Without Zeke, don't get me wrong, he had a good season. He definitely had a good season. So I'm not saying he was trash. He definitely had a good season, but
Now, Zeke
he's
could have
not
got the
the
same.
same without him.
Mm-hmm.
You
They,
know?
they didn't have that level of dominance up front. It wasn't a
Yeah.
dominant.
Yeah, so what I'm looking at right now with San Francisco, that's not the case. They run the ball well. This Kyle Shanahan here. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And I think that we are looking at the Packers because of what they did this weekend and saying, "Oh no, these are to the Cowboys." But like I've been saying, the Cowboys ain't that good. Just my opinion. They're not. They beat up on bad teams. The good teams that they play, they get mopped sometimes. You know, and not only do they get mopped against the good teams sometimes, like what Buffalo did to them, they lose to bad teams like Arizona sometimes.
Well, I want to look up something right now, and I want to look at who the San Francisco 49ers lost to this year. And the 49ers lost to, they were 12-5.
Debo was hurt a couple of those games that they lost too. I believe two of them.
True.
That's a different team, but honestly, that's a different team without Debo Samuel. So I'm just like with AJ Brown, without Philly having AJ Brown, but this is like Philly have AJ Brown.
All right, so their losses are to the Browns,
A
to the
good team,
Vikings, and
a
to the
bad team,
Bengals.
a good team,
They lost three in a row: Browns, Vikings, Bengals.
and that's when Debo was hurt.
All right, then they lost to the Ravens, and then they lost to the Rams.
Mm. The
Rams
Rams
is a
got to say
playoff
like,
team
that's a division game though. That's a division game.
and a playoff team.
But LaFleur, just like McVay knows Shanahan, LaFleur knows him too. LaFleur not gonna keep he not gonna keep get LaFleur. Sorry, LaFleur not gonna keep getting beat by the same person. I just don't see how. He got beat by like five. He gets knocked out the playoffs every year. Every year of his career, except for last year when they didn't make the playoffs, he's been knocked out of the playoffs by Kyle Shanahan every year.
Who are you talking about?
LaFleur.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Y'all picking the Packers.
Every year. So I think because he
LaFleur
don't
went to
have
the playoffs last year too.
no, did he? No, no,
Yeah,
no.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers last year they didn't make the playoffs, did they?
Yeah,
Hold on.
he's won 12. They was 12-5 like 3 years in a row or something like that. Unless I'm tripping, I think this is his lowest win total.
Let me see. Let me see. Let me see.
Green Bay Packers.
No, they were 8-9. They didn't make the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, they 8-9.
Yeah.
Right. So 13 and 3 years was 3 years in a row. They lost to the division jumps, to the division round, conference round.
All to the San Francisco 49ers. You're not. I don't got them beating them again this year, especially
Exactly.
because the money. The
I agree.
money's going to be so heavy on them as well. So that's just something that Like the money was heavy on Philadelphia today.
That's something to
We
look
heard
out
the tweets, the lowly Bucks, the lowly Bucks. That's all we kept here, the lowly Bucks.
for.
Nobody took the Bucks serious because they're 8-9. I mean, because they're 9-8. Seriously,
But they hot.
no,
They hot as fish grease right now.
nobody took them serious though because they're 9-8. Guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna get taken serious next week.
I agree with that.
They gonna get
I
taken
agree with
serious
that.
next week.
But I don't know, man. I don't know if again, even with that game, I'm not super confident that Detroit can beat them.
Yeah, no, I'm a lot more, in my opinion, I'm a lot more confident that San Francisco will beat Green Bay than I am that Detroit will beat Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay has a very good chance in that game. I'm gonna be real. I think they got a really, really good chance in that game.
What do y'all got on the other side? Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, um, and the Texans and Ravens. What y'all got on the Texans and Ravens? We haven't talked too much about that. What y'all got on the Texans and Ravens?
I love CJ Stroud. I love what he's doing, but ain't nobody better than Lamar Jackson this year. I'm not switching my pick on that. The Ravens are going to win that game. I'm not. I don't think that's going to be a blowout. I don't even think that might be a really really good game too. On the fact that CJ's made some really good decisions. I think the one way to shake them up is to get him injured, and not meaning that I want to see that happen. But he's had a couple of games where he's had to sit out or just be out because of injury, and that's usually the only way to stop those guys. Um, and hopefully maybe it's too big. The moment's too big for him, and Baltimore can slide past this one. But I really, 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 really like what the Texans have done so far. That first game was surprising, but I don't like Joe Flacco in this situation. So I actually thought the game kind of went the way it should have went. Baltimore is a totally different beast. Having Dalvin Cook, even though they haven't used him as much, doesn't help the fact that that's just another monster to add to the list if needed. And I don't think Lamar Jackson is playing with any flaws this year. Like it's gonna be hard to make him play really bad. Um, that I just can't see the Texans doing it. And if they do, they're gonna shock the world like no other. If they do, but I just don't see that being no other way for me.
What y'all got? What you got, Point?
My personal opinion is I love what CJ Stroud did this year. He shut up every naysayer that you could have. He showed that he was the better pick. He should have been number one. He's in a very good situation with D'Amico Ryan. And I can't say is I think the kid's great. I'm gonna be honest. Um, with that being said, Baltimore is the juggernaut this year, the biggest juggernaut.
Yeah,
Baltimore is that team to beat. They got the MVP. They got a defense that is just
yeah.
basically just dismantled some of the best teams in the league this year. And they're battle tested. They've been there. They this is their time type of thing. With an Odell Beckham, even though a lot of people don't look at Odell as a premier receiver no more, he's somebody that's been around winning teams since he left the Giants. You know, he's been around winning organizations. And so him being there is a big thing. And then Zay Flowers is amazing. Zay Flowers has flown like not under the radar, but under the radar of people talking about, you know, these different rookies. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Baltimore is the juggernaut. I couldn't I couldn't sleep well at night if I didn't choose Baltimore over the Texans, who, don't get me wrong, I really think is going to be a good team moving forward, but they not battle tested. So when something go wrong, I feel like Baltimore is one of those teams that's going to be able to fight through that. And I don't know if the Texans is there yet to do that.
I'm gonna say that.
So
What you got, Vito?
Bal-
What for who? Baltimore. What you going?
Houston. Yeah.
No, that was my first
Oh, that
comment.
was your first. Okay, okay. Big son. You still there? What you got? I'm trying to let y'all get it in, then I'll say what I got to say last. Okay, so yeah. What you got,
Trying
Big
to
son?
get. I'm trying to get in. Am I in?
Yeah, you in. You in. I got you.
All right, all right, all right. I see the Texans and
And
the
the
Chiefs.
Ravens.
You say
Baltimore and Texas. Baltimore and the Texans. Baltimore and the Texans. That is the
uh,
divisional matchup.
I got the Texans in that one.
Whoa. Baltimore, a Big Son picked all upsets. Every single game Big Son picked has been an upset, been the plus. He picked a plus on every single joint.
You got the
Yeah,
That's
pick, sir?
I'm going Texans.
The
let me
bench is
say,
juggernaut.
Yeah, hold up. Can you go out to give us some
Mm.
context on that one?
It's going to shock the world, man. Like Muhammad Ali said, shock the world. Going to shock the world. Going to shake it up. It's been a year of shake-ups. Like, I mean, did y'all really expect for Dallas to get beat over their head and for the Eagles to get beat over their head like they got beat over their head
Yeah.
this weekend?
I did. I absolutely expected the Eagles and the Cowboys to get thumped. I don't know about everybody else.
I ain't think
Not
the
a,
Cowboys was
not
gonna
a
run up.
thumping.
I thought the
I
Eagles
thought they were
was
gonna get thumped. I
gonna,
said it yesterday. Remember what I said yesterday? I said that the Bucs are going to walk through the Eagles. I said it on air yesterday.
yeah,
Go
he
yeah,
back and
did.
look it up.
yes,
He
yes.
did.
Go back
Yeah,
and look
he
it
did.
up. And both of them was like, hold up, son. I'm like, nah, they're going to walk. They're gonna basically. I said it. I
No, but
expected.
seriously, watching them get it in the other day, Stroud and them, the receivers, Nico Collins, all them guys, they got Singletary down there. They're a different animal. Like, I watched some boys and they played a good daggone game, man. They're just a different animal, so I can't wait to see them go up against Baltimore.
Let me say this, just to support a little bit of what Big Son is saying. I'm gonna keep it 100. CJ Stroud hasn't looked bad all year. Like, to be honest, all the competition he's played, I haven't seen a stage that's been too big for him all year. And that's just to be honest with you. All year long I've been watching the boy from a distance. From because of gambling purposes. I try to pay attention to everybody and what everybody is doing, and I'm gonna be 100 with it. CJ Stroud has shown up to play. Him and they have really showed up to play in almost every game. I haven't seen him look outmatched or confused or any of those things that you normally get out of a rookie quarterback. Now, this is a different specimen. This is a different animal. This is a different dog here. When you talk about the Baltimore Ravens, this is a much different dog. So I don't know if he's up to it or not. However, I will say that he has not looked outmatched by any stretch of the imagination. He has not. I mean, that's a strong pick though, Big Son. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a strong pick though. I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? That's a strong pick. Um, what about y'all? What did all y'all got? I mean, for me, let me say this. Now going into me, I'm gonna pick Baltimore. I think Baltimore's going to the Super Bowl. I mean, not sorry. Let me stop it. I'm still split on that. I think it's either Baltimore or the Bills that are going to the Super Bowl, and I'm more leaning towards the Bills right now. To be honest with you, because that defense looks really good, and so right now I'm more leaning towards the Bills. At least until I see Baltimore play, I think that will be a great AFC Championship game. Baltimore and Buffalo. That is the AFC Championship game I'm rooting for. I would not mind to see the Chiefs in Baltimore
So
either.
it's all about storyline. Remember that.
Yeah, that's true.
CJ Stroud, first year, he doing it big. Don't be surprised if he pop up there, man, in the NFC Championship. I'm telling you.
AFC, yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely possible, and there's not to knock, CJ Stroud, because like I said, he hasn't looked outmatched at all season long. He's really looked good all season long. But this is a big stage, probably the biggest stage. That place in Baltimore gonna be Rowdy Piper. You know what I'm saying? Rowdy Piper. So I can't see that. I don't know. I don't know if that's a hostile environment. You know what I
What
mean?
we on the next game?
Yeah, we on the no, we still on text. Yeah, we about to be on the next game. Yeah, what you got for the Chiefs? Matter of fact, Vito, what you got for the Chiefs and Bills? What you got over there for
Buffalo.
that rematch?
Buffalo. Pretty
Yeah,
Mahomes loses his first game on the road. This is what causes the beef between him and Josh Allen. Cause it ain't no beef. It gotta get ugly in football.
that's true. That's true. Buffalo looked really good today. Let me say that.
That was the
But yeah, yeah, they looked really good today, though. I mean, I mean, especially Josh Allen. Did you see the run, the 52-yarder?
yes. The one that
Man,
was gonna stop him, he ran through the world.
yeah. So, yeah, I think this might be Josh Allen's year. If he's going to get Mahomes, it has to be this year. It has to be this year. If he's going to get Mahomes and finally get over that hump, it got to be this year.
Yeah.
It got to be this year.
And that's going if it doesn't happen, that whole team is about to get busted up.
You think so? I don't.
Yeah, this the last run in Buffalo if they don't get if
Well, they hired their offensive coordinator in the middle of the season.
and
So
that's another reason why I feel like it's gonna get blown up a little bit if they don't get it done.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't
'Cause
think so. I think
they
Buffalo.
close. They
Yeah,
close.
I think Buffalo knows that they are a dynamic player away. A Christian McCaffrey, a Debo Samuel. They're one player away, in my opinion. They're that close. There's somebody that Stephon Diggs has been stepping up, doing a great job. Gabe Davis to me isn't he's a good player, but he isn't dynamic yet. You know, like I like the dude Davion Hicks from Green Bay. You add somebody like him to that team, you know what I mean? Then I think they're a Super Bowl team. But right now, I think they're still a player away. But I don't think they bust it up at all.
All right. So I guess that's all. Did y'all make y'all picks? Did y'all everybody go through the game, through the Buffalo game?
Uh,
What you got,
I,
Point?
I got Kansas City, man. I told you, man. I can't bet against Pat in the playoffs. You just
I
gonna have
can't
to
blame you for that.
lose.
I can't
I'm
blame you
just
for
gonna be
that.
wrong. I'm just gonna have to be wrong, bro, because I'm not betting against Pat in the playoffs, bro. The only way I bet against Pat in the playoffs is in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like now I will say this. It's gonna be real hard for me to pick Kansas City if Kansas City win and Baltimore win. It's gonna be real hard for me to pick Kansas City in that game because I really truly think Baltimore is the better team. But with that being said, it's still Pat. It's still Pat. And if one thing, if we ain't seen it yet, Pat is not the next Brady, but he's the new guy, the new
He
golden
is.
goose of the NFL.
He
You
is.
know what I mean? So
He is.
like Pat, man, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard.
So
Lamar.
with Rice, so with Rasheed Rice as their number one receiver, you think that they could beat ball? You think that they could beat Buffalo?
Yes, absolutely. Rice a baller.
Okay.
Absolutely. But see, he's not their number one receiver. Kelsey is.
Okay. I agree with you there.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he's the number one wide receiver, but the number one receiver on that team, and everybody know it, is Travis Kelsey.
I agree.
You know,
Big
so
son? What you got, Big Son, on that on the Chiefs and Bills? What you
I'm
got?
on the Chiefs and the Bills. I'm going to Chiefs, man.
You going Chiefs
Gonna
too?
be-
Oh, we got
Yeah,
two Chiefs on here. We got two
going
Bills
Chiefs.
and two Chiefs. I like
Going
it.
Chiefs,
I
man.
like it. I like it. Two Chiefs and two Bills out on here. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah.
I like it. For
Yes,
sure.
sir. Chiefs and the Bills all the
Yeah,
way.
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So,
I'm the only one that picked San Francisco. Like that's crazy. That's
yeah,
crazy.
I mean, I just think it's too much money on them. I think one of the number one seeds got to go down, and I'm not picking against Baltimore. That's my logic on that one. I think
Man,
one of
that's
the number
crazy.
one seeds got to go down, and I'm not picking Baltimore. I'm gonna pick Brock Purdy. If I got a choice between Brock Purdy and Lamar Jackson, I'm gonna pick against Brock Purdy. I'm just gonna be real. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. I just can't. But it's gonna be a lot of money on San Francisco. It's gonna be a lot of money on San Francisco, man. They already talk about San Francisco being heavy favorites, and all on Twitter is all talk about San Francisco being heavy favorites and having the cakewalk to the Super Bowl. I
Oh
just,
no, it's no cakewalk in my opinion, because I really feel like the Lions and the Packers are formidable opponents, regardless of who wins that game. It's not if San Francisco does win, that next game gonna be that next game gonna be crazy. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So there's no cakewalk. I don't think there's a cakewalk for anybody to the Super Bowl. I think the hardest way up to the Super Bowl is the Texans, and right now the Packers.
got you,
You
got you,
know,
got you.
The Texans got to go beat Baltimore
I know, right? In Baltimore.
in Baltimore. Oh man, that's
Yeah,
tough. And then say they do win, right? Then they got to beat either Kansas City or Buffalo. They
I
got the
know.
hardest.
That's
They got
tough.
the hardest route. Come on, man. They got to play two juggernauts back to back.
Yeah, yeah, that's tough. That's
And so
tough.
now when you look at on the other side, Tampa Bay got to go in Detroit and beat Detroit, and say San Francisco win. They got to go in San Francisco and beat San Francisco. Or if Green Bay win, they got to go in Green Bay, right? If I'm not mistaken, no, Green Bay didn't win the division, so it will
No,
be a Tampa Bay.
yeah, it would be in Tampa Bay. Yeah, yeah. So I'm just saying. So we got DeVito. Did you get? You said Buffalo. Vito said Buffalo. And he said this is Mahomes' last little hurrah. You know what I'm saying? He said it's Mahomes' last little
Man,
hurrah.
they've been saying that about Mahomes since
Nah, nah.
he won his first Super
That's
Bowl.
little.
Meaning
It's his first away game, and I feel like he
her
got.
first away game. Yeah,
Yeah, Buffalo gonna be a tough place to win in that environment.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do agree. So what final thoughts? We're gonna go through the final thoughts, man, on this one, which I saw today. Let's just go through the final thoughts, which I saw the game. Any of your fight, whatever you want to do. Final thoughts, man. We're gonna go through some final thoughts.
Uh, I can start out. My final thought is that, and I'm gonna go for the whole wild card weekend because this is the final thought of the wild card weekend. The Cowboys is who we thought they were. We thought, if you look online right now, there is a million memes about the Cowboys saying this is our Super Bowl year. They beat up on bad teams. They get to the playoffs. We'll see you next year. You know, and that is the running joke on the Cowboys right now. Okay, then when we look at that, we look at Green Bay. Green Bay's been a great team. End of the season, really came on. Love had his coming out party against the Cowboys in Cowboys Stadium. So kudos to him. We look at Kansas City and Miami. Miami next year, they're going to be a better team. We know that they're a real contender now, not a fluke. We know Tua can stay healthy, relatively. He can stay healthy throughout a year and do his thing. And so I'm excited to see what they're going to add to their team because A-Chan was hurt this year, and hopefully he could play a whole year next year, and they could be a lot better. We look at Cleveland, where it's a lot of question marks. Joe Flacco was their guy in the playoffs, and if Deshaun Watson was on that field, who's to say they even get to the playoffs? But who's to say if he does get to the playoffs, he doesn't play a lot better? So, there's a lot of questions there. CJ Stroud, man. I'm gonna just say shout out to the Texans and CJ Stroud, and good luck on their game next week because he had a coming out party throughout the whole year. This was his rookie year. He showed them that Bryce Young was not the number one, but yet he was. I'm gonna jump over to Philly and say, yet again, they are who I thought they were. I said it yesterday. They was gonna get stomped in the mud. That Baker Mayfield was gonna throw the ball all over, and that's what happened. So shout out to the Bucs and good luck in their game. I'm excited to see what's going to happen, in Detroit. And as I go, I'm gonna jump right to Detroit. Detroit, straight up ballers, straight up. You know what I'm saying? They showing us this was their coming out party this year as well. Last year they showed that they could be a good team. This year showed that they are a good team. And so let's hope that they do well. And because I would love to see best against the best, I would love to see them go into San Francisco and see who wins the NFC Championship.
Well,
Um,
Dallas was the number 2 seed. Remember that.
Ain't no, I told you in the beginning, they are who we thought they were. Dallas is like Peyton Manning in the regular season sometimes. You know, Peyton be like that in the regular season. He get to the playoffs, he play Brady, what happens? He gets stumped. And that's exactly what happened to the Cowboys. And that's what's exactly going to continue to happen to the Cowboys because to me, their problems is not the fact that they always take this player and take that player. Say, oh, Zeke needs to go because it was Zeke. Oh, this who's going to be the guy that needs to go this time? Is it going to be McCarthy? You know what I mean? Because guess what? You could put any coach there with the exception of a couple coaches. I think Bill Belichick could help them win a bowl or somebody like that. You know what I mean? Somebody that can take a decent team and make them better. But more than likely, they're going to be the same Cowboys next year. Win a couple games, make it look good, then get to the playoffs and have all the Cowboys lose their money. You know what I mean? They are who we thought they were, in my opinion. You know,
Right.
so I'm gonna just say this as my final last thought. I do see, um, I do see a San Francisco Baltimore Super Bowl again. I don't know how it will happen or if it will happen. I don't like it being one versus one, but it potentially can happen. I think Kyle Shanahan is going to be locked in and keyed in. It's going to be hard to beat San Francisco this year, especially having to go through San Francisco. I think Baltimore is the best team in the league this year. Lamar was the best player, and it's going to be hard to beat them.
All right. What you got, big son? You got your final thoughts. Let me get your final thoughts, big son.
Final thoughts for the playoffs has been, even though we gave all these predictions, it has been really good games on and then blowout. So saying to go that way, meaning it's only going to go either one or two ways. It's going to be either a good game this playoff or somebody going to get blown out. So um, hope these teams ready and on the lookout and don't get blown out or you know what I'm saying. Go out there, have yourself a good game, and play your lights out. Because this playoffs is shaping up to be a good one, and you got good matchups coming in. It's like the best of the best is playing each other. So I'm really looking forward to next weekend and getting getting it in and watching these games and looking forward to also seeing who might be on the free agent market. You know,
Yeah, that's a
even though
good
we
one.
out, I'm still doing work over here on this end. You know, so shout out to everybody who tuned in today and gathered in with us, doing it the new way. The new wave came in, so we going taking a new route. So appreciate y'all tuning into the Nation Sports Network. You know what I'm saying? From the bottom
Yeah.
of my heart, I really appreciate y'all.
Yes, indeed. Vito, what you got? What you got on your final thoughts?
Man, everything is what it is, man. Appreciate this Sunday, Monday combo games, man. They went beautifully. Playoffs are starting to shape out to look like they're supposed to. Our teams that fight for what they're supposed to get are actually winning instead of the tryhards. Shaping out to be a good weekend next weekend. Hope that my predictions are right because I like to see that the game turn out the way I to see it instead of what happens like Saturday and Sunday because it was a few surprises even though I like the way it came out. I definitely thought that the Cowboys were going to be a little bit better than that this weekend. And to get done like that by the Packers definitely shows that you got to watch all the games, not just your favorite teams sometimes. So I'm just excited to see what happens next week, like the rest of y'all, man. Uptown
Ye-
out.
Yes, indeed. Let me say this. As this is a Washington sports podcast, it's at the Nation DC. First shout out to everybody listening on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere we got, man. We streaming tonight, man. Y'all, we love the people that come through and that rock with us, man. That's for sure. But I'm happy that the Cowboys and Eagles are gone. I'm not going to even sit here and lie to y'all. I thoroughly enjoyed watching the Cowboy fans make excuses today. and I'm going to enjoy watching the Eagles fan make more excuses tomorrow. Um, our season is complete at the NFC East, so we're the only division I believe who is fully retired right now. Oh no. Yeah, we're the only division that's fully retired right now, where everybody is out of it. Even the NFC South is still in it with the Tampa Bay Bucs. The AFC South is still in it. The West is in it with San Francisco 49ers, and the AFC East might be fully retired. Let me see who won that division. Oh no, the Buffalo Bills are still in it. So we're the only division that's fully retired. So it'd be only fitting that the Sports Podcast, ends this wild card weekend, the right way, doing the Cowboys game and the Eagles game. And we actually started the season. If you go back and look at week one at the Nature DC on Instagram, week one, the very first week, we end up doing the Eagles and Cowboys game. We did the Redskin game and the Eagles play and the Cowboys play in a triple header that day, and we did all three games. So it's only fitting that this weekend we was to do all three games. You know what I mean? We did the Redskins last game, we did the Cowboys last game, we did the Eagles last game. So that's only fitting. So we appreciate y'all, everybody out there from Dallas, New York, Philly, Washington, D.C., our hometown, man. We appreciate y'all. It's been a great season. And hopefully, at least on our end, Redskin, and y'all can keep losing, and we can win finally. You know what I mean? That's what it is. But as far as the wild card weekend, man, it's been a really good wild card weekend out of everybody, man. Especially here at the Nature Sports Network. Again, we are in the midst of a transition. We have transitioned all the way from radio all the way now to live streaming on simultaneous streaming, man. So we are growing as a network, and just to sit back and watch these games and give y'all the real in football, man. As the guy said yesterday, who was on air with us, man, who watched us rock with us the whole entire game, man. He said, man, y'all do a wonderful job on here, man. So shout out to the other hosts, Point B, Big Son, Uptown Vito, and all the Nature family out there. Pounds. And just everybody been rocking with us all year, man. Lil Rowe, everybody who's come through, all year long. Migo Son, Wheezy, anybody who's peaked there, Ashley, all the sponsors, that really did came through and rock with us, man. Know that we gonna keep rocking out, man. And that's gonna be my final thoughts. We gonna see y'all next week, and we gonna, really see what's going on. But this was a wonderful wild card weekend, man. We couldn't have asked for much more, especially as Redskin fans, for sure. So that's my final thoughts, man. We're gonna let y'all go. Next week, I think the first game is Saturday at 4:30. Next week we are doing all four games. It's 4 games. We're gonna do all 4 games, because this is the final four. So we're gonna welcome y'all. We're gonna open up division weekend, man. It's division weekend. Welcome y'all to the final four in the NFL, man. NFC Final Four, AFC Final Four, and we only gonna wait and see what happens. Again, shout out to everybody out there listening on YouTube, Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter, man. Y'all know what it do. This is the Nature Sports Podcast. I'm ETA Money Row. Y'all know the host. Y'all see them up there. They've all said their final thoughts. This is my final thoughts. See y'all next week.
Yes, sir.
Out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.